Hello. I forgot to turn my mic off. Oh, you're still muted, by the way. I
Okay,
uh
that's
I
fine. I'm mad.
I forgot to mute my mic, and so you may have heard something a little bit. But anyway, hello. My
Okay,
name
that
is
is weird. You played that, and I'm gonna a little fun fact. Literally, my kid is obsessed with this Tom and Jerry version of that, like the cartoon version.
yeah.
Today's the first time he watched the live version. Literally, he actually watched that version the first time
Nice.
today, and he was just obsessed. He was like that, and then afterwards, he had to play. He was just pretending he was Willy Wonka for like
There.
hours. So he had to go to bed and like we got him in the bath, and he was like, the bath is made of like chocolate, like
Oh
Gustus Gloop and
goodness.
all that. And I was like, that is great. That just from earlier. I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and the video itself was created by a gentleman by the name of Pogo or Nick Bertkey, who's Australian. And he has this whole chain of stuff with all that on there. So people always there's a link down below if people want to go check it out. But anyway, my name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short, because people still say Daramouthe, which even us in America have problems with the English language. But of course, I am joined by the ever rough and tumble, but finally got on
I
Stasis Geek.
know.
How are you good, you?
I'm good. I'm good. I know it's been a push to get us together. It's like that. It feels like it's months. Like you're like, let's do this. I'm like, I just can't. Everything just went out of thing, and then it was a good news. Like for Jay out Nerd Takes, I did the film club with. He of course had to cancel because the baby
Yep.
Nerd Takes has arrived.
Mhm,
So that's great news. That arrived on due. That arrived yesterday. Of
mhm.
course, he can't go. Let's do a film club
Yeah,
straight away. So that got cancelled. But then it was like, what do I do? And then lucky enough, you reached out again. Yeah.
yes.
So we it all kind of the cosmic arena kind of got us to go, yes, we can
Yeah,
finally do it. And it's great. Yeah. So yeah, glad to be on. Yeah, because it just
yeah.
seems a while. I was like, I really want to do this, but it's just out of my
Well,
reach. So
yeah,
yeah,
and you have kids too, so that's
yeah.
understandable. You have a life and other stuff to do. But it was like, we already had a ton of the people from, Tomby's crew on, and it was just like Travis.
The last one left.
I don't is it? Because
I don't know.
well, there's
You've had Yarn Wait John, haven't you? So she was the
Yarn
last one from the Chinwag.
Wig,
So you've had Abe,
yep.
unfortunately, probably.
Sometimes there's an
Yeah,
unfortunate part to that,
yeah.
alright?
And
Sometimes
you had Tomby on yesterday, wasn't it? So yeah,
yep,
so sort of things, and you had all the rest of the gang on from
Smoo.
that.
I've had
Yeah,
Smoo on. I've had, Kadath, is it?
yeah,
Kadath? Kadath,
Gaddafi, yeah, yeah.
okay, and yeah, basically, it's just you
Just
because,
me, yeah.
yeah,
The good looking one, I always say out of them.
hey, you know what? If you can sit
The
taller
one with the good hair, the one with the good hair. There we
yeah.
go. That's really the go thing. Yeah.
Well, if you can sit taller in a chair, you already beat Tomby, so there's that.
I know, that's it, yeah. Well, everybody can beat Tomby, like, literally. I could be sitting on it, I could be standing up, I can do that,
When you
literally.
when you could say anyone can beat Tomby, I'm like, "I'm walking away from this one."
When I met him in person, I was like, "Who's tucking on my socks?" That was it. So
I
uh,
I could see that too, just like, "Where'd Tommy go? What the hell? Oh gosh."
oh,
Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, it's always again, I've talked to people all over. Like I think the furthest I've talked to is from Australia, which is like 15 hours ahead of me. You try to schedule that one. You have to do a weekend for that one.
yeah.
It's not gonna work. Never let I don't you even try. Don't you? That is a darn right lie. A darn right lie.
No,
But
I
no.
think the word is it needs a comma and say again at the end.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about debating about that one. Every
that's it.
time he comes on, it's like, when am I gonna come back on the show, Abe? Abe, how many other shows are you on? The last time I had him on, he complained because he was up against a tight corner of other shows he was on. It's like, look, man, I'm already on 3 other shows. I don't know if I'll be able to make it. He complains about it once. I'm like, well,
Oh,
then maybe we should
no.
just hold you back.
That's
So,
good.
but yeah, no, you had I know that you and Tomby have sort of served in the English military because there's a difference
Yes.
between American and English. Now, how many different branches of military are there over there?
There's the main three, if you go by that, like Army,
Mm,
Navy, Army,
mm,
Air Force in the right order.
mm,
The Tombi is he likes uh, the be in the Navy, as the
Yep.
song would go, in the Navy. So, we always said of his. I served in as a point Her Majesty's Royal Air Force. So
All right.
as things, again, kind of like Tommy, came out injured, so like that. But yeah, then a few things go past, and it's weird how everybody for the military seem to kind of draw
Yeah.
themselves to each other. I think it's
Yeah.
just a click. I think it's like it is,
Yeah.
you kind of, you can understand, and I'd like not to go much into it, but I think there's certain things just civvies just don't understand. And I think
Mm.
when you talk to like an ex-military or
Yeah.
currently serving, they just get it, and I think
Yeah.
that you get that kind of click, and you can be a bit more open and like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It reminds me of that Monty Python scene they did where they had the guy from the Royal Air Force come in and no one could understand him, and they were also in the military too. And they were just like, "Do you
Yeah.
understand what he's saying?" And he's just saying, spouting
Oh,
these words.
hello, Charlie here. When are you gonna go? What? Out? Going on?
Yeah, they're just doing that, and it's like, I don't understand them either. If they can't, we're in trouble. But I mean, it's sort of a fascinate for me. It's a sort of fascination for me because you get this opportunity to talk to people across different I don't know if we'll
Mm.
say culture things, but it's just different perspectives of where you live, right? Like I was talking to Tommy about like the post office stuff because you guys, of course, your boxes are red, our boxes are blue, obviously. Um, but just the way the mail sort of does, because for a Christmas card, I can't remember where I put it, but he did send me a Christmas card from the UK, and I'd never received something from that far. I'm not that lucky. There's no fan mail from my box, unfortunately. But it's always nice to kind of see those differences because you and I live on two very different areas of this earth. We're two different continents, whatever you want to call it. Wait, is the UK considered a what would it be? Is it like an archipelago or an island? What is it
It's an
considered?
island, yeah. Well, yeah, it's we it's it's one of those ones where it is an island,
Mm.
but because of the Channel Tunnel, it connects to
Um,
France. So
yep.
you could be pedantic and like,
Mm.
people get, no, it's not anymore. It's an island. Come on,
Yeah.
mate. It's always been an island. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Because I was trying to figure out where it was specifically where the UK is. Now, because again, the UK, for those who don't know, the UK consists of Northern Ireland, Scotland, England, and I think Wales is
correct.
what
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
United
that's
Kingdom. It's normally, it's not. It's I suppose the best part is United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, just
yeah.
because the Southern Irish Republic of Ireland. Yeah, it's called Ireland. So like that. That is the thing in Ireland. So they're not united. So you always say Northern Ireland separately.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that. So
And the thing of it is, though, I mean, that part of it is because the UK, the English and the Irish did not get along at a certain point in time. So that's
so,
where
yeah, at a certain point, I go to history flat. I have Irish blood, so like, well, I'm proper Powley white like that.
yeah.
So I have Southern Irish blood. Yeah, but yeah, it goes back. Yeah, it's the troubles, and you've got especially like the 70s,
Yeah.
and things. It goes back centuries and then centuries. We
Oh, yeah.
just did the from Film Club did Cromwell, and if you go for Oliver Cromwell, he literally really destroyed the the Catholic Irish. Like, yeah, he literally pillaged, raped, destroyed that
Oh,
country in that period after he became in power. It's just a horrible part of history.
yeah.
But every country's gone. Every
Yep.
things. That's it. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, I still remember
Mm.
um that but Full Metal Jacket,
Yeah.
the movie Full Metal Jacket, that the bits that are filmed in the city bit is
Mm.
filmed in Docklands in London.
Oh, wow.
And all they did was put pine trees up there. They did it because there was an IRA bomb that bombed the city, and then they went, "Can we have? Can we use it?" And they were like, "Well, yeah." Well, and I remember, I think it was like I must have been like 8 or something, and going past, and like
Uh,
my mum was a florist,
oh,
and
wow.
she had she worked in did some deliveries in the Docklands area for the businesses, and they
Mhm.
were like, "Oh, can you like at one point there was a massive explosion, and
Mhm.
they were like, can you come and collect all your stuff? We need to get all the like the troughs, the big plant troughs. We
Yeah.
need to get them out because they're your property, but we need to clear the whole area because we're going to
Mm.
redo it." And it was just like seeing all the glass, just all of like the massive, massive like glass uh, business buildings,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yep.
They'd be, it just completely gone, just everything. And I was just like that. I remember just being like a young kid, just going, "What is going on?" And then seeing
Yeah.
like they called it the is it the Iron Ring? I think it was called, and it was like a stopgap. The police were like,
Right.
"Dumb, you cannot go any further without being checked."
Yeah.
But it's like that, yeah. Those times, yeah, it's like so political, and like people read into it, and I'd like try and get either side. You're never going to win that. I think there's like current day, you've got some
Mhm.
political elements in every country. There's
Mhm.
one major one,
Mhm.
in the Middle East at the moment. You just not going to understand it unless
Yeah.
you're embedded into that kind
Arena.
of culture,
Yeah.
the arena. I'm like, you can have your faults about it, your concerns about it. I don't think anybody's ever gonna nail on the head. Never
Yeah.
gonna get it. And that was the same with the troubled line. You can have your I don't agree with it, I don't understand it, I don't
Mhm.
whichever way. You're not gonna get it. You're just
Yeah.
not gonna get it. Like even I this is respectful to people who lived in it, living it now.
Yeah.
It's so ripped apart, the fragments of what the understanding is of those kind of conflicts, if you want to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's hard. It's like people want to kind of discuss it. You get like the TikTokers and all that kind of
Yeah.
giving their things. People for fly uh, throwing flags up and like that, and don't
Yeah.
understand like the meaning to a flag or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's just like, oh, look, go and read a book like that. And even if you did 10 years research, you still come back and be like, oh, this is a bit heavy.
Yeah.
Like that. So that's where so but yeah.
Mm. It reminds
Yeah.
so of just with the film thing though, I did wanna say I used to work, at a, don't wanna say the name of the college because that'd be giving too close of a place. I used to work at a very well-known college, and I was doing, event crew setup. We set up for events day, but night before, whatever. And they were having a thing where uh, Liam, what's his last name? Neeson. That's right. Liam
Yeah.
Neeson had come, and he was showcasing a
He set of
document.
skills. He set of skills. Oh, I was
Well,
gonna
no, that's
say his
after.
special set of skills.
That's after. No, he was showcasing a documentary he had shot about the Irish
Okay.
Rebellion in 1912, I believe it was. Um,
Okay.
I think it was
Yeah,
1912.
no, yeah, 12, yeah.
Yeah,
After it was a lead up, the rebellion, started,
yeah,
in the 1910s, but the main
yep,
one, First World War is when it really kicked off. Yeah.
yeah, and he was there to well, he had a dinner first, and then they went to another
Mm,
place where they showcased it off because he had directed it. But I mean, he is Irish to
mm.
to that degree. When the another funny thing too is that Michael Fassbender is I believe is Irish because there was a scene at the end of what was it, the X-Men First Class, I think it was. There
Oh,
was a
yeah, he's
Yeah, you could tell, you could hear it
yeah.
as soon as he's coming out, it's like, "Brothers! Brothers in arms!" He just comes out saying, he's like, "Aren't you supposed to be English?"
Yeah. I love that when you do get actors who like, putting on the accents and like vibes like posh British or like,
Yeah,
the Brits doing the Americans or the Americans doing the British accent.
yeah,
Uh, and then they have to shout
yeah,
and you can just, oh no, I can hear it. I can hear
yep,
where they're from.
I can
It's
hear
like that. Yeah, I can hear it.
I can't pinpoint like that, like, you could pinpoint, like, "Oh, Yorkshire." I can hear Yorkshire right there. I can't do that, but I know that if it sounds Irish, it's Irish, right?
Mm.
That was just crazy because that's the one thing, like, when I'm trying to do an accent, which I'm not gonna say I'm not very good at
Everybody
any.
does like I think there's two main if anybody imitates the Irish, they
Yeah.
always do Dublin or Northern East Northern
Oh,
Irish.
I thought you
It's
were
like
gonna
that.
say, like,
It's
yeah, I thought you
no,
were gonna say,
because like
like
there's like the Cork accent
yeah,
and that is really like really strong. It's
yeah,
really, really strong. So you have like things, but there's always like, you can get like that. So everybody,
mm,
you know, I know where you live. I know where you live. I know where you fucking live. You know what I'm saying? If you come around my house, I know you live like that. That's like the
Yeah.
Northern Irish. That's the classic kind of they do, and it's just yeah, it's it does make me laugh. Like, oh no, so but yeah, but it's like Brits when they think like they do American accents and they just
Yeah.
think it's everything's there, every
Yeah.
like that, and then you could like anybody who's like calls being over, they're like it's huge, it's flipping huge, and it's like that. So yeah, like you can't think like I'm going to say what I don't know. Boston to Ohio is like that will take you like a day. No, it's flipping ages. It's like if you go by car, and it's like yeah, it's just the things like that. But like I suppose like Europeans are so used to everything being tight knit and close, like we get
Uh,
a bit like dumb about the rest of the world,
yeah.
like that. So because it's just like oh, we can just hop there's France, there's Spain,
Yeah.
Luxembourg, Belgium, Germany. It's just like it's like yeah, Denmark, what, an hour and a half away by plane. It's
Jeez.
just like yeah, it's just yeah. So you like that, and like if you go an hour and a half, most of the times you probably hit like east, like from New York, you're probably just hitting the mid section of
Mhm.
America somewhere. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's I always laugh when people just think yeah, it's yeah, no, they all the same. It's like that, and it's like we just went political. It's like
Uh,
people with their political mindsets, and they forget it's mostly county to county, and
yeah.
then counties are bigger than most countries sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
like that. So when people go east and west coast, they're like they're blue, and
Uh,
then everything's red or whatever, and then they go yeah, but they're completely different. They're different. You're different countries, and
yeah.
then within those states you
Mhm.
have different provinces,
Yep.
counties that are
Mhm.
completely different to the one that is southeast or west, and that's
Yeah.
it. But that is American history. Like you had that going on from like from 18 1860s. Don't know what happened there. Going on, and it's like that. So
I I just would
it's
be
so
like
sad.
I'd just be like one of those most like, well, we kinda did it since, we kinda kicked, King George's butt. But anyway,
King George the Third. Well, the Prince Regent. That's it.
yeah. Well,
You had the French on your side. We were fighting a war already.
yeah, yeah, I know. It's sort of funny when people kinda keep bringing us like, we're kind of, like, 200 years after that point. I think you can let it go. But I think it's also the point of fracture as well is because while we can, to some degree, we've, for the world wars and all that stuff and fight
Mm.
with that, we kinda have that it's almost like a convoluted historical relationship, basically is what it is between America and the UK.
I think it's because we're cousins. Like even after the, let's say we call it the rebellion war. We have to war of
Yeah,
independence.
obviously, yeah.
Literally, you screwed over the French and did a trade deal with the British to keep the trade open.
I wasn't alive,
So
so I have no
yeah,
part in that.
yeah, but yeah, but that's it. Like, I think it is like there's so much ties. Like you do have your pockets like German, Dutch, and all that, and like that.
Mhm.
But I think the British tie there, after um, especially with some of the wars and all that, like
Yeah,
after 1812, it's
mhm,
just the ties just it kind of made sense. We
yeah,
had the strongest navy, and you
mhm,
had the like you coming up. It just made sense. So,
yeah,
um, I think today, like it is like it's the world's got shrunk, and I think especially with social, there's so much back and forth of like similarities, like that of like cultures, like
mm,
within different like states and like the British as well, and we
yeah,
kind of see speak the same language.
yeah,
Like, I think
basically,
Hollywood probably helped back in the past. We all
true,
know what it is. Yeah,
yeah,
it's there, and yeah, it's funny that like that say like what was it 1%, wasn't it, when they did the vote that did you know this? Oh, did you not know? Oh, the flip
no,
was 1%. It was 51% who voted that the Americans, as it was the colonial provinces,
oh, okay, okay,
would speak English, not German, and because
oh,
there was such a German thing, so it was so yeah, it was like 1% or something like that.
wow,
It's like
well, thank
amazing. I was
goodness
like,
for that,
yeah.
otherwise we'd be in very much trouble. Well, no, I could speak to Clifton better, that would be something, or Smoo, but I'm glad they understand English. But no, for me, it's kind of I don't know if you wanna call it symbiotic, I don't wanna call it something else because I mean, the UK has its own troubles, especially now, and the United States has its own troubles, especially now. The point of the matter is that we've kind of gone, back and forth on what we are to each other in the space of the culture aspect, because we're two very different viewpoints, right? Because the English have parliament, they have that system of parliament, and then they have the proper the monarchy and the propership and all that sort of stuff, and we're kind of like the rough, rowdy rebellious teens that kind of said no. And that's kind of the true, that's kind of a true case, but again, you kind of have
Was it
these.
you're the naughty kid, the naughty black sheep in the family?
Basically, yeah. If you boil it down to it, either do like the distant cousin or the rowdy
Yeah,
black
yeah.
sheep. But I mean, it's kind of, it's just kind of when you take a step back of all the, forget all the political stuff, because I mean that's been a jurisdiction of everything since the beginning of man trying to figure out how to be civilized in the world. Not try to end up being like the Wild West, where you just end up killing each other for basically whatever you want, right? Like you could basically Wild West style, just if you wanted that person, you would just kill the person they
Mm.
were with and take that person. Well, Genghis Khan, maybe Genghis Khan days, but that's long past. That's long past. But I enjoy the learning the differences, because there is a sense of traditionalism between both, just in different aspects of how we view it. Like you have, again, you have points of monarchy and those traditions. You have points of parliament and traditions that come with that, and all sorts of tea. Like tea for the English is a sacred right in essence. I would believe. I'm not sure if every English person.
I'm not a tea drinker, to be honest. I'm not. I'm a coffee drinker. I've always been a coffee drinker like
There
that.
you go.
Yeah, never things. So, but yeah, it's I think it's one like I don't know. Like there is like there's proud. I think it's like the culture. I suppose like your mum and dad like
Mm,
because always tea drinkers like
yeah,
that. And I think 'cause coffee was more expensive. I don't know. Like
yeah,
and it's coming back.
yeah.
So yeah,
But
it's
it's just that sort of thing with that. Yeah, and that kind of makes sense. Like your parents did, and you're like, well, why don't I? And plus, a lot of people, hey, Dailyverse, how are you? I don't know why you're unemployed,
hey.
but it's sorry
He
to see
can't
you.
change it. I think he's not anymore, and he can't change the name again. Like a new like so he's stuck as unemployed at the moment. So yeah.
Liberty. That's
You're
right,
doing well.
Liberty. Except there are some Americans who drink tea because some of it is because they enjoy the drink or the health benefits, right? Like green tea. Like
Yeah.
green tea is a big
I do
thing.
like a jasmine tea. I don't mind a jasmine tea now and again. It's like really poncy. Like, oh, like a jasmine tea, but I don't mind one. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I've never, any tea I've drunk has always tasted like hot warm water to me, because there's
Mm.
really, yeah. Stasis is
Yeah.
stay too posh for tea. He
Too
said he
posh for
drinks
tea.
tea.
Only jasmine tea. Too posh for tea.
No, what's your roast though? For coffee, what's your roast?
I found this new like dark roast, like a Japanese one. I can't remember
Oh,
the name of
really?
it. Like it's like a bean one. Like I was had some ones I got from this place in Edinburgh like ages, and they closed down. I couldn't
Mm.
find one. Then I found this Japanese one. I was like, I'll give it a go. Oh, it's really good. It's really like that when you first have it, you're like, well, that's strong, but you get like it grows on you. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a Japanese. Yeah, they do around Mount Fuji, and it's
Oh,
it's just like, so it must be the climate on one side.
yeah.
But yeah, it's bloody good. It's bloody, and it's not that expensive. But yeah, I do like beans, grinding them, and all that. So I always like so the Italian coffee as well.
Oh,
Sometimes
goodness
it's like
sake.
yeah.
You have espresso at home? Is that what you're saying? You have an espresso?
Yeah, kinda, yeah, I do, yeah, it's all that, like, my girlfriend's even got, like she bought like, a foaming machine for the milk. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm having that. Why not?"
Oh,
But,
goodness.
yeah, it's yeah, I do like a couple of coffees, and more than I should do sometimes, but, hey, I've got a 3-year-old that wakes me up at, like the other day, he woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Mm.
shouting my name, so I walked in, thought something's wrong, to tell me I needed to get to sleep. And I was like, "Thank you for that." And he just put his arm around me, gave me a kiss, and then walked off. And
Oh,
then I walked off, and he was like, I was like, "That's so cute, but why did you wake me up to tell me I needed to get to sleep?" I was like, "You get like that." So, but yeah, bless him. They're crazy little ones. But
how
yeah, that was
how many do you have, if I may ask?
just the
Just the
one.
one?
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's pretty
yeah.
nice.
So,
Usually, I know, I'm a family of 5, so
mm,
my mom and dad had 5 kids altogether, so I'm one of 5. But I know some people have much more.
Yeah.
If you're the Duggars, that was way too much.
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is, people have a variance of like some would have 2 or 3 or whatever. But it's kind of an interesting aspect. There was a show I was on a long time ago, and we were talking, and me and her name was Jessica Reloaded. It was a long time ago, and me and her were talking on our perspective of parenting. Now, obviously, prefacing that, I should say we were talking on our perspective of parenting, as in the sense of it was an opinionated look from the outside in, right? Like, I'm not a parent, she's not a parent, but we're looking at something that we have parents, right?
Mm.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't have parents. That's the gist of it, right? So we were talking on, parenting, at least from
I
our
don't know.
perspective.
These days we could be all AI, so we don't know.
True, that there's too. But then she had like one of her mods was a parent too, and she started kind of coming after us, like, saying all these things. Whatever, like, we've already relegated it many times over. We're not parents, and we understand that. We're speaking on an outside perspective, which everyone's allowed to have an opinion of something, even if they're outside the perspective of not living it, right? Like, you're a paraplegic. If you're not paraplegic and you talk about paraplegic things, you're allowed to at least talk upon it, even though you're not a paraplegic. It's that sort of things, like, that's the ability to speak freely and all this stuff, or to speak on concepts or ideas or whatever. But it's sort of like that thing was like, and all that stuff about it is like, I'm not here to tell you how to be a parent. That'd be the wrong thing for me to do. What I'm saying is, this is what I see based upon my own experience with my own parents, because obviously you learned something from that, right? Like, I'm pretty sure you learned something from your parents to some degree
Mm.
about what it means to be a parent, but didn't take every lesson they gave you on being a parent, more or less.
Yeah.
So
Do the tango.
there's the two things. Yeah, that does take 2 to tango, and sometimes people get in a slap fight, and then it really gets interesting. Why'd you trip me like that? Sometimes you just need to be tripped. But yeah, it's just, again, the reason why I do even do this stuff is because I have an allotment of no limit, basically, because I don't. I look, I get it. I know there's other people out there that do just gaming stuff, or they do political talk or whatever. That's fine. You pick the niche in the content creation field. I don't care. What I care about is what I didn't see a lot of creators do, and that's talk upon fields, talk about anything starting from nowhere, right?
Mm.
Because one of the things I felt missing from all the content creators I was following, and this is a long while ago, when I first started out, was that they really were just stuck on talking like entertainment industry, Hollywood, politics, all this thing. And I'm like, that's great, but what else is there to talk about? Like, have you tried doing something else? And that was one part of it. The other part is that a lot of the times creators will bring on other creators, because I understand there's a risk, understand. But the other part of it too is that you usually it's either someone within that niche, or it's someone to raise your status of
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm not here to tell anyone how to create content. I'm not here to, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. That's fine. I'm giving you my perspective of what I saw and what kind of influence of why I do what I do. Because there's a lot of people that can talk about a lot of different topics, but can you just start from nowhere and go from there and build a show on that? Right? Like, that's for a lot of people I've talked to, including yourself, because I think you had mentioned it in like one of our DMs, is like, what you'd ask me, what is our topic? What are we talking about? And I
Mm.
get that, because I've had that a many a time. And there are a lot of shows that are built on um, topic centered things.
Yeah,
Shows.
there's something in the news. Yeah, let's talk about that. Or yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that. So yeah.
Yeah. And for me, that's fine. Look, again, content creation is what you want to make out of it. But at the end of the day, though, what content creator do you see bringing up people that aren't creators, bringing up people that are probably one of their followers, that follow them, right? Who
Mm.
are you seeing that's bringing on people? Maybe you could find someone who brings on small creators, but even stuff that they don't even enjoy. Like, you bring up people who are religious or crypto, or in the tech or whatever, and you could be the complete opposite of that. I do the smorgasbord because sorry.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I think that there's two types of creators. There's the ones that can talk and have a persona. They like I suppose they have an image. I suppose the best way to do it. They like, they are the ones that they know their chat, they know their subs or whatever you want to call them. They know their audience, and they play to it. And they're playing the game, and they're playing it well. And I must say, like, fair play to them. That's your character. You have your online character. I'm like, when I first started this, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna talk about the stuff I just want to talk. Like there was reasons I did this. Most of it because my girlfriend was getting pissed off, like me, because I was injured. But like, I think that you do have channels, and like, I can understand it, is where they highly edit. And there's ones that I like to free. Unfortunately, like, to my girlfriend's stats, I'm quite a good, like, rambler. I can literally, bullshit baffles the brain, like, kind of thing. Like, I can literally, I can talk. I could talk for England, and I've had one. Like, I remember what I got on with a channel called GM News. We did like a Star Wars thing, big on Star Wars, and I went onto a rant, and the rant lasted for like an hour, like, just me. And I didn't realize any went that into one of the best content I've ever. But it was just me being real. And I think that's what, as you say, you got different divisions of like people are different. Just I don't give a shit about that. And I think if you can have a conversation and it's a flowing two-way conversation, that's where it needs to come from. I think when you have this kind of thing, or like we've had it with some of the things I've done, is like, you talk like, you might have a topic like I do about films, but afterwards you can have a free flowing conversation. I think, the people that kind of want to listen, shut up for a moment, and then there's ones who just play the character. They play the moment. They're good to watch, and they are fun. They are fun, and like, I can sub to them and enjoy, having them in the background when I'm working or whatever. They're a laugh a minute, and I understand where they got into things. And then there's the clickbait people, who are going on there, who do the fake news. There's so many out there to, like, they know how to do a thumbnail to get that algorithm, to get that shock moment, because something's in the news and they just want to talk crap. It's funny. Like, but there's videos I've done, and like, mine's always come from a source or something like that. And I always say this because I can't out the sources, but if I've done like a stance on, this is going to be crap because of such, or a good example, the Snow White one. I knew somebody who worked on set, and they got called back 5 times to do reshoots. And when they said to me originally, you remember that picture that everybody went literally viral of, they were like 7 people, and they were calling them the new diversity.
Yeah, they were the real life people. They were on the hill and all that stuff.
So originally, the original shoot was they were going to be her love interests. So I got told that, and then I was like, "Oh well, that's literally that." I was like, "I'm going to go for it," and she went, that's what it is." So I was like, "That is mad." So I gave my take. There was other things in the take, and of course, then they reshot it. So you go back now, it's a bit outdated. But I was just like, you know what? I'm just to be honest. I don't edit my videos anymore. I used to. And I didn't like myself. I didn't like myself editing it. I was like, if I make a mistake whilst I'm talking, like, I'm just making a mistake. I just made that mistake. I want to be fresh. If you slip up or have to hold it, stumble, hold it, recollect. Your memory getting old, so I have to recollect a lot. I just want to do that. So it was, that thing. But it's lucky enough, I've got, I've got knowledge, I suppose, of geeky stuff. And then I've got, like, like in the industry, like, but then I'm like, have like my other interests, of course, like music and all that. So I don't go into any of that, but I'm just more like, what? Sometimes I just want to chat. Just want to like have a little back and forth, and then kind of see how it goes. So, but I think that's the best way. And like, I think that's the sometimes the honesty comes across in like content creators. I think you've got ones you go, they're not, you've got the grinders, and you could just see that they're it's not about making it.
Mhm.
Because I always feel like the reason I do it is because, like, one, I wanted to give my take. My first channel was about Star Wars, and I
Mhm.
completely changed it into like what I do now. And it's just because I love doing it. And I
Mhm.
mean that. And I mean, like, when I first had people talking in chat, I was like, flipping heck.
Yeah.
They're talking to me. This is
Yeah.
great. You know, like that. And it just got to the point where it just like doing it, and then it makes you smile. And it's even when you're like, oh, I've had a really shit day. Oh
Mhm.
God, I haven't done a stream for a while. Oh, I
Mhm.
really need to do a stream. Need to do a stream. And then it gets on, you do a stream, like if it's gaming or something else. And then you realize this is awesome. This is
Yeah.
awesome. You know, it's not just about, you know, like upping your ego, and I like just like it's great. And it's just great. Like it always makes you smile when you see, like, you know, Davey Versus there, and
Yeah.
like comes in, hey, you know, like you're still here, you know, like that. And it's good. It does put a smile on my face. It's just like every time they all say hello. Maybe not Abe. I'm just gonna put that about him.
Someone
No,
has
we
to
have
prove
a gym. We have a gym. So, but yeah, but that's
sometimes.
the thing is, like, I would not like if it was like, you know, Mr. Porkchop, kind
Yeah.
of become like close, like internet friends, I suppose, like that. And I've met him
Nice.
in person times.
Nice.
He's a great guy.
Mhm.
But that is kind of like an offshoot of like speaking to one person, then
Mhm.
that kind of speaking, you know, and then that's it. So if I didn't, you know, if I didn't start a channel for
Yeah.
reasons, you know, me and you wouldn't have spoken. You know, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have you know, that Tomby, you know, and all the Chinwag wouldn't have happened.
Mhm.
You know, Abe, me, wouldn't have back and forth. You know, I've done like with Wolfie and her friends gone off and just, you know, offline gaming, you know, just
Mhm.
have a bit of fun, you know,
Yeah.
and I'll have a little chat, you know, like, so it's, yeah, it's good like that. So this is like, you know, I suppose like if you start to like it, it becomes like a very weird like therapy kind of thing. It's like that. So but yeah, it's a thing.
Haley versus Davey versus calling you out.
Yeah. And he calls me a kind of true. Yeah.
I believe it.
Only the Brits can say that word, so that's fine.
Yeah. Well, Australians too. Don't forget Australians
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but Londoners do it better. So like home counties, Londoners like say better.
Well, okay. So it could be considered the same because you have the Australians saying it too, but they're actually a derivative of you guys. They were just sent to jail for it. That's another part of the English right there. Hey, Fo Dub, I hope you're having a good weekend too. Again, you put on another good show. Well, I'll try. I like try it, man. I'm not, but again, it's for me. It's in doing that retrospective of my dad would be jealous of his mask. See, there you go. So all of his Star Wars masks that you have, so you must like them. That's a lot. That's what 2, 4, 8, 10 of them.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's the Black Series stuff they brought out recently.
Mm.
And then well, if you can't see it all, but yeah, we got the comics, of course, and then
Mm.
that top section is the original. They are. So
There you
there
go.
we go. So there you go. So anybody who's new, who's not seen my channel, is we got all Black Series up and top, but that top section is
Mm.
original Star Wars when I was a kid. Got some books like things, and then we got 2000 AD, and then Bronze Age. Oh, was it this section? And the
Mm.
other side, Bronze Age, 2000. Marvel and DC. That was given to me by my stepdad.
Wow.
He lived in New York in the 60s, so he bought loads back. He was a graphic designer, so he bought as like kind of like I suppose like a guide of what he was doing. So he just bought them.
Right.
So I got a couple of first editions like
Mm.
that I'm proud of, and then down the bottom we got some more. But yeah, I've got boxes of them. I just became like, you know, 2000 AD was my thing when I was younger, and that
Yeah.
was it. And it spiraled out of control. But yeah, it's, you know, having that. Just collecting, and then of course the other side, what nobody can see, is all my guitars and amps and all that.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just, but yeah, it's I didn't realize until I moved into this house and then started, let's display.
Mhm.
Is I was like, I've still got loads of boxes in my loft. And I was like, so but yeah, it's good. But then yeah, I do like the Mandalorian ones. I don't like that.
Mm.
Like this show's probably dead now, and like with the Grogu stuff. But yeah, it's I do like that. They are cool helmets. Like that's the prototype one. They really done.
Wow.
for the Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider myself a collector in any
Mm.
standard because I only have so much room. So you just looking at that almost reminds me of Nerdrotics. You just see all his stuff on the back walls and all that.
Mm.
But no, that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome that you're able to, not only be able to collect those things because I know again you have a lot of people who collect the older stuff, like the older Star Wars stuff,
Mm.
which after a certain period of time that stuff becomes fragile if you don't take care of it. Just like, look, here it is. Oh no.
Oh yeah, my kid did pick up the Jabba the Hutt thing the other day, and he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "You know what? That's from like the '80s, early '80s." But then I would say like like my stepfather gave me all the comics. I'm like, you know what? And I'm like, there are some that I'm gonna say they got a good price tag onto them. I'm never gonna sell them. They're going to my son. It's like when I go, they're going to go onto one like that, and I think that's the best way to do it. Like the monetarily value, I don't care about. It's all about like having that bit of fun, and like he comes in and like has a look and has a laugh and puts on the helmet, so he's like tight, like that high, and he's like running around with a stormtrooper helmet on it. It looks funny like that. He's like wobbling along. That's it. So
You'll go with that incredible hair. That's how it will go.
Yeah.
And then Davey says, I bet Stasis ain't got original sealed Darth Maul jelly beans and tin from 2001. I do.
I did actually. I've got some like like silly like things like mints. Like somebody like, and I got into this habit of like, oh, it's Star Wars. I ain't opening it. It was like like just like the Death Star. But like it was like you open it up, it had mints inside, and I was like, "No, I'm keeping it. Never going to open it." I don't like. It just got to that point when I just like, I just don't want to open it. I love it. Like even the 2000 AD ones, I got like duplicates of some of them, and I was like, "You're gonna get a duplicate, so I can open one," and then like have the other one like mint in like display, and then I'm like, I just can't give myself to open it. I'm like, I don't want to open it. I can't. Something like that. And I have to like kind of rip off that band-aid. Yeah, it's like that. I need to do it. But yeah, I'm really bad at like, it's got to look good. It's got to look good. But
oh yeah. Those mints probably won't taste as good, but they're still
yeah, I won't do those. Like 20, 30-year-old mints like
why is he in the hospital? He had a mint. A mint? What the? Oh my goodness. But yeah, it reminds me of those stories where people would put like get one of the Twinkies and they put it like, there's one story where someone got like a Twinkie and they unwrapped it and put it on top like a chalkboard, and it was like up there for like almost 3 decades. I'm like, it's still alive, but it's very dry. You could just blow on it and it's already disappearing. Goodness sake. Oh my goodness. But those are those called slates or slats, like movie slates? They're like the
those ones, yeah. So like literally they're literally the Star Wars ones. Somebody bought me, so we got Star Wars,
nice.
Empire, and things. They just got like what they kind of just use, and they just got directors, producers' names on them, and then like the major scene. That's the iconic scene into every single one, but as the number, like take 4, scene 16 or whatever it was. Yeah, so I think they're kind of cool. Yeah, so somebody bought them, so I just whacked them on the wall.
Those jelly beans are likely fermented now.
They probably get you drunk. They probably get you drunk then. What did you get? I had to have a stomach pump because I got drunk on fermented jelly beans. That'd be a good one. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But you sort of remind me there's a channel. I don't know if you know who he was from some Adam from the Mythbusters. It'd be Adam and Jamie, and Adam was one of the guys who was part of that ordeal. But he's done this show where he's gone to like these places that sell props, right? Like I don't know if they're called auctions or whatever, but they sell props, and he would go through and he would be able to look and see some of these props. Like I think he did. I think there may have been a Star Wars one. There may have been a bunch of different ones. I think he did go to the actual Muppet Hudson Museum where they have the old Muppet stuff. But it's just this fascination of you can see these props and all that, and being part of the
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think it's like terrible now because my girlfriend, she's worked on sets before
Mm.
as a costume designer,
Oh,
and
really?
they just literally just chuck them in the bin now. They get
What?
changed, they go, yeah, not allowed to keep them. So literally, you're like, oh, like, yeah. So she's been on some ones and literally thrown it away. They did the what was it? Some was it the Wonder Woman at 1984? Is it 1984 movie? Is it 84 or 87? I can't remember. The
Oh,
second one.
that's with Galbert. No, was it?
Gadot, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The second one. We know she has like that golden wing thing.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like that. So they did that. Apparently, it took a year to make it,
Mm,
and then the director went, "I don't like it," so they made a second one.
mm,
And then he went, "Oh, I don't like that." So they just binned it. They literally just went, and it had to be scrapped because they said we can't have the non-original one. So they went back to the original one, but the one that there was like I suppose the prototype straight in the bin, and it like they were saying that like it was like over 100 grand just
ugh,
literally thrown in the bin, and it's
ugh,
like that. Yeah, there's so many like I get the stories of like they come in and go, "Oh, that's a great dress, but can it
mm,
be in blue?"
yeah.
Yep, and then change it back. Oh no, it was better in red, but we had to chuck the red one, so they had to start again because they're
Yeah.
not allowed to keep it. So it was things in 1984. Yeah,
Props guy too. Yeah. Well, and I just wanted to
Yeah,
bring up.
it's mad.
This is when I found that he did an episode of. This is a prop
hmm
of the model from X-wing model from Star Wars episode. I think it's what 4. I think that's episode
yeah,
4. But
New Hope.
it's on a memorabilia entertainment memorabilia live auction, and it just goes like he just goes to this place and he sees like these original props and stuff that they use. And again, this was one from one of the movies,
Yeah.
so you get to see this prop that I believe was ILM,
Yeah.
which is George Lucas's thing. And you get to see this thing and just look at that. It's crazy.
Mm. But that's the thing is like when they make it, they couldn't destroy it because one, it was possible technology they were working out at the time, and
Mm,
then if they were going to go forward, they needed to have a reference, a mold reference.
yeah.
I know there's in a New Hope, like if you look at the Chewie mask between the
Mm,
two, like an Empire. They are completely different. It's because somebody accidentally put it in the bin.
that's
How
crazy.
much would that be worth now? Yeah.
Much.
So
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
but
right. They have.
they like some merchandise just goes. It's ridiculous the amounts like they go to. But I can understand it. If you're a millionaire and you're into that, into that franchise, you got the money. You're gonna spend it. Like imagine like having I don't know. Han Solo's blaster or something like that. It's just like, yeah, look at that. Like you just show it off, wouldn't you? It's just be like anything you love. If you got your iconic, your shows or anything or
Mm,
movie that you go, I love that, and then you were minted. You would
yeah.
like, you know what? You were like, $1 million doesn't
Mm.
really matter to me. You're like, yeah, why not? If you're gonna, love it, why not? Something.
I wonder what $1 million in pounds would be, because pounds is more than the US dollar.
I don't think it's much more. It's about like 1.3. Isn't like it can't be that. I don't think it's that much. I remember like in the 90s,
Mm,
like I used to go like and it was like double. So you like $100 was like £200. Like sorry, yeah, £100 was like $200. So it was
mm,
great. So I just went over there and just bought like loads of trainers. Like when I was younger, like
yeah.
that would just go over and just like get everything. I had the old Reebok pumps. Remember them? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
everybody had like that. Like I was feeling like came back and it was like, what are they? I was like, yeah, Reebok pumps. Like
There we
trying to
go.
get in the burst.
Oh,
uh,
no, that's not. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to look up. Uh, no, it's still like no. No, that's not. That's. I don't want Mexican peso. Trying to find what the okay, here we go, so this is what it's at right now, at least from the searches. One one
yeah.
one
Yeah. So
British
yeah,
pound
well,
equals,
that
yeah,
was
so
roughly right. Yeah.
it's a little close, but
Yeah.
like if we were to do say well, let's do that, let's do one, uh let's see, it's like six zeros, 1 and 6 zeros.
Mm.
1, 2, 3. Yes. So 1 million US dollars would be not like a third of that. No, 3/4 of that.
Yeah.
753. Yeah. So 3/4 $750,000 of $1 million would what it would be in the UK. United States dollars. Well, I know we're looking at it right now.
Everyone's
So,
like, quick.
yeah,
Oh.
but no, that's the thing. So again, compared to actual million for us, you'd only get three-fourths
Yeah.
total. But I mean, that for anyone, that's still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. That's where you can buy enough lofts and storage houses to put all your stuff in.
I wish. Oh my god, I would just go. If I had that, I definitely wouldn't. I would getting told off by buying like proper vintage stuff. I'd be like, oh no. You just would, like, if you're a collector, you just would get silly, and I don't think you would if you like had that kind of income. You'd just be like that. I would like Elon Musk. I would like hate, because he's a bit of a proper nerdy geek and some things, isn't he? I would hate to see his dungeon. Like, you're just like, what is going on in here? Like that. I bet he's got like a great collection of stuff. But
When you can build
infinite money.
Yeah, when you can build the rockets, though, I mean, it's better than buying the props.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! But no, especially for that. But yeah, that's still a lot of money. I don't think I'll ever possess. But yeah, but I mean, the way you talk, it sounds like you've been involved in making some movies yourself, or have you worked in the industry?
No, I haven't. No, to be honest, like, rough days. I've just been like a bit of a I was aviation and all that, so like that. But yeah, kind of like I'm quite creative. Like, I've just actually, like, really weird, like being that creative. Just finished my, like, I need to just go through it. Can't think of a name. Just finished my first novel. So it was just like that. So yeah, kind of took me for about 5 years to get through it, because I had to make up my own sci-fi religion into it. But it's like a medieval sci-fi kind of thing. But yeah, it's just like I've always just been that kind of creative. And I think, like, when I was younger, I was dyslexic, and I always had these things like that. And yeah, I just love writing, and like with, being able to go through it through your mic and not have to type and all that is, I think that, like, the technology today is great for like for dyslexic people as well, and like people with learning disabilities. It's amazing. Like, just the technology just is like some supporting things like that, and the prices need to come down on certain aspects of it. I think it's, it just opens it up, because like having it stuck in your head, and you can say it, but you can't type it, or you can't spell it. It was horrible. But now you can just dictate to the computer, and away it goes. So it's that helps. So yeah, I've got a couple of things like that that I've written. So yeah, I've got got to keep on writing. Just keep that. I think it helps as well. Just keep your brain just active as well. Just kind of just keep that them thoughts churning over. So.
Yeah. What's sort of the summary of your book?
Okay. It is set in a planetary system with 8 planets. Yeah, and it is about a religious group that were noble, I suppose, like that, and then got taken over by a underseen enemy. But they kind of infiltrated all the 8 planets. And then they exterminated the religious aspect that were noble, because they were all about, growth and I suppose, like, life and all that. And then the darkness come. But then at one point of this history, because I've done it, it's like a switch on, if anybody read the Witcher books, is like what's happening, and then a time jump of like history lesson and like religious lesson. So that's the backstory. But the actual instigator of this whole thing of there was like I suppose the best way to call it is like the children, the people were like, you can't murder the children of this religion, so they kind of got exiled into planets, things like that. But and there in my one, it starts off with a space shuttle crash, I suppose you call it. And that's the main instigator, is one person who's got cybernetic. He comes from a planet that does cybernetic implants, but he gets damaged on a planet that has been out of bounds, and he goes on to be like, helps this one kid, and he gets on a planet, and it kind of all turns into like this mini adventure through the planetary systems, and there's pirates and stuff, like space pirates like that. So it's kind of like a things, but yeah, so it's very much of like really intense like sci-fi adventure. Then it goes back into a kind of either a religious aspect of the history of like a doctorate, I suppose you call it, of the religion around the planets, or it will go back to a history of the planets. So I've gone back a millennia, so you have to learn about the millennia. So it's like that. So it took me a while of things. So it took me a while to write, because I had to kind of I didn't want to make the religious aspect anything to do about like Catholicism, like Church of England, or like any major thing. So I read the doctorate of the canons, as they call it. So I had to read the canons of all these different religions to make sure it was so separate away from it, but you could understand the religious language. Yeah, so I kind of that. So it was a lot of research as well. So I was like that. But yeah, I got to a point I was like, I'm happy with it now. I'm really happy. So that was it. So but now I just need to go and make sure everything's okay. And then it's just like, I can't think of a name for the book. It's really annoying. I've got all the chapters done and all the chapter names. I'm like, but what do I call it? What do I call it? So it's annoying, but it's good. It was a bit of things.
Is the cybernetic man, right?
Yeah.
He's from out there, from far beyond, or beyond the what's known.
Yeah, he's like, I suppose you want to call it, he's like on the most porous planet. Yeah, he's like out there. So it's like that. So, but yeah.
A man from nowhere.
A main man from nowhere. Yeah, but I want to kind of make it like, so it's a follow on. So I was like that. But yeah, it's like his story. I don't really like, if it ever happens, it gets out there, I can't give you his story. And he is the instigator of the book, this novel, I suppose you want to call it the book. But he's like how he has his own journey, but he's kind of every instigates it, like everything moves away from him from that. So yeah, it's
what popped in my head.
Yeah, but I call it like, I've got like these, like I've got something, because I call them like the eight, because there's 8 planets, and he doesn't call it the eight nights, and that every night has a name of like their. It gets like a lord, I suppose, like in the UK. They kind of get passed on as by the protector of like the planets, but they're like there to give it like a as a like a voice of like I suppose like a like a senate and something like that. They like a round table kind of thing. So they all bring together. So like that. So it's either going to be something the 8 or something like that, because there's 8 planets. That's it. I'll get it. And the word thing, it will just bang. It will come to me, and I'll be like, "That's it, done." So like
from nowhere to 8. It's just stuff I come up with. You can take what you like. But anyway, it is the top of the hour, and so what that means is I usually, for me and my guests, I usually set aside some time for us to promote ourselves. I know some creators like they do it at the beginning of their show, or they sometimes do it at the end of the show, or they kind of do sporadic throughout. I've seen some do sporadic throughout, but what I do is it's sort of on I do it on the top of the hour. And so what it is I think I gotta check first. Yes, I did put your links that I could find, at least off your Twitter and stuff like that. But beyond that point, if you'd like to sell yourself, but not like that, the floor
20 quid an hour.
That's too low.
That's nice. If you bring flowers, it gets reduced.
Little, we bump those numbers up. All right, but the floor is yours, good sir.
Yeah, like find me Stasis Geek. Mostly I just do YouTube. I've got a little bit of a TikTok channel that I'm going out there. Like at the moment, I'm just doing gaming, because every time I go to do a pre-recorded video, I just kind of get annoyed about the subjects. I'm like, I don't want to be like I want to be a bit more positive. Like there's some ones I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. So I've done some ones in there. We got weekly. We normally do the film club, myself, Sandy Q, and Jay from Nerd Takes. course, Jay's having to take a little bit of time off for the wee one. So yeah, tomorrow, me and Sandy are doing like a war movie special because she's a historian buff. I like my war movies, so that should be a bit of fun. So we've got that coming 8 my time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's so that'd be tomorrow. It's gonna be a bit of fun. That should go on forever. But yeah. Also, Oblivion. I've been the remastered. Been enjoying that. Yeah. So I was playing Skyrim, and then somebody's like, "Oh, you got the rumors," and then it was the rumors were true, and it just dropped. So I'm liking Oblivion. Is it brings back nostalgic moments of like from 16 years ago when I first played it. So yeah, it's good. But yeah, I'm going to do some more gaming. I've got into the habit of doing some horror games as well. I am the worst jumper in the world. I didn't realize I was that jumpy. You know, when you play, you ever played a horror games?
Sort of.
Like the jump games. I didn't realize how much of a little girl I was playing them games. That's the only way. I'm like, yeah. And the worst thing is there was one, and I got scared of myself playing the game by the character I was moving. It's just like, ooh. And it's funny because like it was one game. My girlfriend was like, what happened? I was like, oh my God, this is the worst game I've ever played. Like it was literally I can't put to you how terrified I was. I was like, my heart was. I was like, this is horrible. But I'd like chat with loving it. I was loving playing the game and hating it, like dreading the next move. So when she was like, "Oh, show me what in this game," and there was one part and it was horrid, and I'll show you to it. And then whilst I even was replaying the video back to my girlfriend, she was pissing herself because I re-jumped at the same point and I knew it was going to happen. So I was like, she was like, "Oh, you idiot." And I was like, I can't. I didn't realize I was this jumpy. So I'll do more of them. It's one of those love-hate relationships.
Yeah.
With those kind of games. I do like them. And then I just like, oh, like you if you see my reactions, sometimes they are absolutely 100%. I've just wet myself kind of moments. They are terrible, but yeah. So we have a bit of fun like that. I need to get back on the pre-recording. I've been a bit lax lately, but I've just been busy real world. It's quite hard sometimes. It's just like sometimes, I hate to say it, gaming is the easy one. Click, play, go is like that. So it's like that. And the worst thing is like I suppose you want to call it the modern culture, like film and TV. There's nothing good. There is nothing good at the moment. Like there's a couple of things you go, oh, that's okay. And I'm quite enjoying it, but they're like, oh, it's a boring topic. So like, yeah. So I like I must say with Film Club, I like going at because we're going back most of it. Like we're going back to some really old movies. We got like some 30s to like kind of like the probably like 20 years ago movies on there. So it's fun. I like to rewatch it, and like we all three of us did our own picks, so it's good to have that kind of like different spectrum of like different people's opinion of what they perceive a good movie recommendation, I suppose you want to call it. Good. It's good.
And that's pretty awesome to get to do, because I know a lot of people have different perspectives on movies and stuff, and I can understand like nothing, at least the majority of it, doesn't appear good to you currently. But everyone has a different thing on what they enjoy or what they don't enjoy, which is also another thing on the market. But anyway, his links are down in the description below if you want to check them out. And of course, thank you, Davyverse, for putting that up there. If you want to check them out, Mom Loves, the only thing this year I've enjoyed what's new. Well, there you go. I've heard good things about it. But his stuff is down below on either Rumble or YouTube. No, you're fine. But from my end of things, whether on the
I'm just gonna get myself a tissue. I actually do need to blow my nose. I'll be right back.
You're fine. Whether you're on the Rumble side or the YouTube side, doesn't really matter which one. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leave a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated, because not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators want to be, it also helps in having other people on, like Stasis or Tomby or Smoo or so many others I've had on. Again, I've had on over 200 various guests, whether they're created or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is if you're just willing to come on to have a discussion about whatever. So anyway, thank you, good sir. Thank you. Shout out to the ever lovable real Tommy there, the tech wizard of sorts. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, any help with the engagement factor on either Rumble or YouTube, like liking, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, all of that helps. And of course, I have a link down below. It's a Linktree link. You can always see where my Twitter X is at, where my Twitter X is at, where my email's at, where my Discord thing's at. I have a Discord thing, but it's mostly just for DMing, so really can't do. There's only so much mental bandwidth I have to do all this social stuff. So at a certain point, it's got to be cut off. But anyway, any help with the engagement and link down below, I appreciate y'all so much. Of course, shout out to the real Tomby who rated on the Rumble side. Thank you for that, sir. Yeah. Because again, I do stream to both Rumble and YouTube. I've learned from the many stories of YouTube is it's best to be on one more place because YouTube likes to jank its people around. So gotta be careful of that.
I do like to change that algorithm. That's why I always say, like any others, like I always say, all the streamers takes a minute to click. Say, so because especially YouTube, they just mess that algorithm up. One goes that way, next minute's that way, and I think it did with the they always messed it around like last time with the if it's like the election periods in America, they completely just nuke everybody except for the ones they want to push, and everybody gets hurt. They did it the last election and like the midterms. They love a mess around with it, and you just like you can't work it out. You just can't work it out. You see some great YouTubers like who, or even like any streamers like who just like how are they not massive yet? And it's just like and he's like because the algorithms go no, things like that. So unfortunately I've seen it like I went back on like TikTok and like they just give it out to everybody, and it's great. Like somebody like people and like the engagement, like just like followers wise, who then come over to YouTube is great. YouTube just goes dead, and then it goes wee, and then it goes dead, and it goes wee. It's just like a little wave. So it's I would know. I gave up a long time ago trying to understand it, and that's why I just like you know what I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm just gonna enjoy the ride, and it's like that. And like I think the best thing is not to. Any starting streamer, don't look at your sub count. Don't look at your sub count because it will go like that. It's like a yo-yo, and you're like sometimes you're like great, and then what's happened there? And then they come back, and then they're gone, and it's just like it's the algorithm. So I gave up a long time ago looking at the analytics board. I was like, it is what it is.
The thing, and all the parts of it too are like people who get demonetized for over the silliest stuff, and then people I have seen who get like their whole account just gone on YouTube, and they're asked not even any strikes, and they have to go to Twitter X to get something resolved. So
there's a support network you get, and they always trying to push it. Oh, we're here for young, budding, upcoming, small streamers. They don't give a crap, to be honest. They like that, and you have to go to Twitter or X as you call it now to actually get something resolved and get a couple of people to give you retweets and like things, so they actually go, oh, what's going on there? If you go through the actual main channel like you do, like they're just it's stupid. Like at the moment, like my account got it won't let me be a member of anybody else's channel. And it's blatantly a technical thing, and they just won't help it. They won't help it. And I'm like, okay, I can sub everything like that. I can gift all that. But actually being a member can't be. So I'm just like, it's just a little silly thing. That's your fault. That's not me. And they're like, they just go, we'll look into it. Never have. So you just give up. So
and again, it's just learning the lessons of, because there's a lot of different places to be out there now, and people have the technology to do it, so to speak. But at the end of the day, though, Smart Man says, "Don't put all eggs in one basket,
Yeah.
because you know what happens." Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you what's better or not, because I think we all have our own presuppositions. I think that's the word. I might start going crazy just trying to say all these words here, but at the end of the day, though, a smart man or a smart person just tries to at least put them where is feasible for them, because again, like I said, I only have so much mental bandwidth to do this stuff, and trying to do all different platforms and all these social media, after a while your brain just slides out your head,
Oh
because
yeah,
you're just
yeah.
trying to do all this stuff. Instagram, TikTok, oh, it's like, yeah, can I just
There's all like how many of them like you've had like, oh, Instagram's dead. There's a new one. Then
Yeah.
like the next one's died, and then that one's the next one, the next big thing. So like just I think like keep the ones you think will work. Yeah, you say don't eggs in one basket, and like yeah, because like especially if like it's like say like if you're like earning, this is your job
Yeah.
streaming. Like I think most people like that'd be brilliant. Like
Mhm.
but yeah, can you imagine like you got to forget like especially if you like you've just got YouTube, let's say for
Mhm.
example, they can just go, we don't like you anymore. Boop.
Boop, yep.
That's it. Why? We're not going to bring you back. Why? Terms of
Nope.
service. That's
Yep.
all we have to say. That's all
Yep.
we have to say. And you can have the biggest shout, the biggest like 1 million followers. They just go, nope. That's it. So yeah,
Yep.
I've always think like yeah, it's good to have a little backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's good to be where you can. But yeah, it's just it's the whole of just in the aspect of trying to, being someone who because the money part is all right. I mean, that's a bonus. I've always seen it as. But when people get into this content creator sphere, it my perspective in learning, because part of it being Twitter X and what they did when they got
Mm,
monetized. My thing about just the content creation of those, I feel monetization is the one thing that's kind of taken away from. It's given, and it's a dual edged sword. It's given and it's taken away what it means to be a content creator, because as you just said, people would like to have that kind of job. Why does that have to be seen as a job though?
mm,
Because people there are many people I've seen who want to escape to content creation because they want to get away from their 9 to 5 job.
yeah.
But if they turn it into another job, then what does it become? Right? Because you talk about the
Becomes a
click.
grind. You have to do grind because you need
Yeah.
that. Oh, it's January. My January is not as good as my May. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Whatever it's going to be. It can hurt the content, but things like that. No, it's in the background of YouTube. It's literally apparently something that you can't get gifted or paid memberships to people, other channels. So it's not like any. It's not. Yeah, I know what that is, but yeah, it's not that. It's
Yeah.
actually it's the YouTube boss.
Yeah. And that's partly because of Apple and what they charge.
Mm,
So Apple and Google charge a percentage that they take from any rants or super chats or whatever through their app, like 30% or whatnot.
yeah.
So whatever you give, say like a $5 on through the app, they'll take 30%. And the funny thing is though, is that Google owns the Google store, or the app store,
Mm,
and YouTube's part of Google. So you'd think they take away that percentage thing, but I don't know. It's weird. It's weird how
no.
to do it. But for me,
But they
it's
know they know they can just up it. Like will nobody will ever know how much ad revenue they get to the percentage that any small streamer gets, and that is
mm,
the thing. Because you just monetize the revenue from ads is ridiculous. And all they do is try and push it to you. Oh,
mm,
give you ad revenue. You want to insert an ad, you want to do that, you like, get over 8 minutes, you can have more ads, you can have multiple ads. And
mm,
then people go, oh, going to get money, and then they look at that tier system they have in place. That's unless you meet certain criteria, it's
yeah,
crap. It's mostly like so like the that's it. Like don't fight for that insert of their ads. That's what I say, because you're not
yeah,
getting what you're getting. Just enjoy it. I think
yeah.
just enjoy what you're doing.
Well,
Because
because
people will come to, if you're on it, if you're genuine, I might be lively. I am. I might be an absolute idiot. People going flipping egg, it's Stasis. Like they come back to me to have a little giggle and a laugh.
uh,
just be honest. Like, yeah, I don't care. I like that. So, but I think that's the thing. If you got a bit of a thing, if like they pulled the plug and you were like, my time was my time.
Yeah.
You've always got another avenue, you know, to have a little bit of a bit of fun on. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that's the way you got to take it.
My light on the stage has ended, and I must
Yes, that's it.
disappear. Is that man Shakespearean? Because he did a pretty good job. I must forevermore disappear off the stage of the show and go to the life stage beyond the spotlights and the screenings and the pretty women. I must go to the stage of life. But yeah, I just getting into this thing. I I I I got into it not because of all those nice things that many content creators talk about, views and whatnot. I got into it because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Obviously, I didn't know how I wanted to do it. I just wanted to try it. And then once I got into the conversational part, it was sort of like there's something here that I don't see a lot of. Yeah, you see a lot of people talk and talk about their niches, whatever, but you don't see a lot of people on the internet just have a conversation about whatever, and that's just a show. That's basically just shows just having a conversation about whatever. I didn't see a lot of that. And so given that opportunity, it's like, and that's the funny thing too, is like there are a lot of people who in life they get down, they feel downtrodden or whatever and all this sort of stuff. And it's because they don't, this thing isn't working right, or this thing isn't working right, or this thing is right. But the problem of it is like it's sort of limiting your ability to see opportunities which are just about everywhere, right? Good opportunities, bad opportunities. There's an opportunity around the corner if you're willing to allow yourself to see it. Because I do this thing again. I was streaming like gaming stuff and whatnot, and that's how it began. But then I was like, then the conversational stuff came along, and then that's an opportunity right there. And getting the and having you on, right? That's an opportunity right there. But I usually see that as a two-way street because we both get an opportunity out of this. Um, the talents, the many talents of the people I've met through this sort of thing has been unimaginable because now I'm connected to all these different talents that yeah, I don't know much about tech, but I know Tomby. I don't know much about investing and stuff, but I know someone who does it for their channel. I don't know about certain aspect here or there, but I know people. So you get this thing where it's this gravitas of opportunity, and I think a lot of people, especially people who see, who kind of end things too early because they don't see something beyond. Because there are hard times, right? We all go through hard times. Some of them uh, are worse than others. But at the end of the day, though, if you're willing to allow yourself to see that there's opportunity beyond the sadness or the downtrodden times or whatever, you'll begin to see opportunities you thought you would never thought you would have. And some of them could be simple and whatever, or they could be long and extensive, and those are roads that you decide how you want to take them. But I've always seen this thing as an opportunity for meeting people. The money and views and all this stuff, those are bonuses to the ultimate point of is having conversations along the way. Sort of like you and your best friend go to a pub, especially a pub that serves food. If it's a pub that just serves drinks, it's not really a great pub to be at. It's a pub that serves food, and you get because I imagine in the UK there are pubs as old as crap, hundreds of years old, all this sort of stuff. But now you also have pubs that serve drink with food. Are there are there family oriented pubs?
In the UK, you get your pub, and your
Yeah,
pub is a drink. Then you
yeah,
get gastro pubs. That's what the new thing is, and that's what serves kind of your food, your
mm,
beer, your pub grub, and all that. You kind of get your stingy, not very good pubs, I
yeah,
suppose, all that. They're like you don't
yeah,
want to eat out of, but you get your most pubs these like back in like that. You have your lounge area and your
mm,
bar area. Your bar area is where people want to go for your drinks, and your lounge area is where you have your kind of more family, the kind of your older crowd and your young, like
mm,
you can bring your kids for like a little fish, like some
yeah,
pub fish and chips. Let's
yeah.
say that, but yeah, but uh, I suppose like it's different. Like I like our, but mostly you probably call bars, don't you? Like that, and our pubs are completely different. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like I've been in America multiple times, and like they're not the same. They're not the same. They're not like, because we have a drinking culture, and
Yeah.
really like, and like, especially if you're like it used to be really heavy. It's gone downhill. I think that the pub environment's dying just because of
Yeah.
the culture that's changed in the UK.
Mhm.
But most of it was like, you used to go to like, you know, like a drinking man's club, like with a family, like you had like the conservative clubs, the British Legions clubs and all that, like people just used to go to, like I remember like that. And like, or the, like, then you have your older, I suppose, your pubs when you get older, like and the thing is, like, as a guy, you know, right, you go out to pull a lady. Let's say that you get those kind of pubs. Let's just be like, when you're a bit younger, let's be a bit honest.
Yeah.
And you like, you have your drinks, and you have your other ones where your Sunday drinks, where you
Yeah.
can have your Sunday roast and like your pubs and all that. So you
Mm.
have all that, but yeah, it's the drinking culture,
Hey,
I suppose, is
Chaos.
dull. But then you get like the drink, like again, like I think we said, like you the drinks over different parts of the counties in the UK are completely different. Like that, I remember like I was stationed in near Red Roof in Cornwall, called Cider. You know,
Oh,
that's
nice.
where they have on. And went into a pub, went, can I have a pint of your homemade brew? And then, like, as an accent, you said, like, you know, like hot fuzz. No, you can't. Like, really, like, rah, rah, rah. And he was like, the guy was like, you're not from around here, are you? And I was like, no, I'm from London. But I'm stationed here. I'm like, but you know, are you?
Yeah.
He went, you can only have a half pint. And I was like, that went what? And he went, until we know you can drink a pint, half pint, you can't have a pint. And I was like, oh my, so like this, like, yeah. And then they realized, oh yeah, like, you know, things, but they would like, yeah, things, but they wouldn't let me have one, like a pint for ages. I was like, I take it a piss, but yeah, because it's so strong. But then you go up like to Newcastle or anything like that, them they can drink, you know, like that, and then like the Scots can drink and like that. And you just say like people from Suffolk, you know, we call them swampies.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, they can drink. They're probably like one of the biggest like east southern ones. Like you just, woo, like I'm like, you just like, bloody hell, like they you know, like that. But I think it's just like sometimes a UK culture like thing. But like, yeah, you got them all around around the place, and like, yeah, it's funny like to see sometimes, like, not being rude, if you get a really strong British drinker and then they go against an American, like I know what my money's on.
Yeah,
like
understandable.
Yeah.
But no, that'd be a lot of work to do because that requires money, time, and a passport. I don't have a passport, so that'd be a lot. Plus, no, I'd like to be able to, because there are certain areas places I'd like to visit, but it's just a financial and time thing. It'd be a lot easier to do than trying to go to Japan, but again, it's about money and time, and that's not something I have very much of. And this is a question for you. I don't know if you'll know or not, but we'll try and see. Chaos asks, does UK overcharge for drinks like the US does at pubs? How much is a well drink? I'm paying 18 plus here in Vegas.
Wow. No, it was different because when I remember going to like New York State, they have a rule, don't they? They have the $5 rule. Every third one they do free in certain places. So yeah, like you have, so they don't charge you the third drink. But also, I can't remember what state it was. Oh, that if you had a liquor, I suppose you want to call it, and you thought it was too weak, they would put more in for free. And I can't remember that, but yeah, it's mad. But it depends. Like if you're in London now, got a pint of, I don't know, like a pint of Carlsberg. What's a Danish drink? But like a pint of Carlsberg, you're looking at £8. So what would, like on your thing earlier, it's probably like $10, $11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be like, yeah. So like, but then if you go to somewhere like, I don't know, Carlisle, it's probably like, you know, it's probably because of inflation, but it's probably like £4.50 a pint. You know, it's like it depends like that. So if you go to London thing like Manchester's going to be more expensive than Leeds, for example. So like it's where you are, but like Vegas, I can see them ripping like it's a tourist area, isn't it? Unless you're going to the one of the out the strip, they're going to rip you off, aren't they? So there you go. Newcastle, yeah.
Oh, Newcastle 4 to 5. See, now I looked at the one for £8.
Oh my god. Oh my god! Like, if it like Newcastle, like Baja Beach Club, that would like the Baja Beach Club is in Newcastle, but it's a club. You go £4, £5, whatever, for a pint, and then that place would charge you a little bit more. It's a dump. I don't know if it's still there, but like I remember drinking in that place. But then oh, it's awful. Like there's something like everybody knows like that in Newcastle. Baja Beach Club, I know that. But yeah, but there's places like, but then you got like other places like it depends where you go. Like Iceland, like that, and like it was like is really expensive. It's like 20 quid a pint at the moment because of the exchange rate. But if you go to like Copenhagen, I know well, the Corona is like I think it worked out. It was at one point like £18 a pint. What is really ridiculous. But then they substitute everything. Like the travel's really good. So if you go out drinking, it's quite expensive. So when I was there, they were most people would have like house parties. What's really cool. So you would go and get your alcohol, and then you go back to somebody's flat. And then if you have like, of course you haven't got a passport, but you've not become, they have like big complex, like I suppose building complex where everybody's got their flats in like in the city centre, and they all kind of go from like it's like I don't know, flat 26 that is this turn this week, so everybody gets to like 26 and it'd be 27 the next week and 28 the next week. And then what they would do is you get there like at 10 o'clock at the night, drink to 1 o'clock in the morning, and then go to the club. But of course, you've already had your drink, your like that, and like European drink is quite like sometimes a very stronger the snaps and like the vodka and all that. So you just kind of go in there. So it's things, but it's things. But yeah, you just say student city, the street like, but you go like a student union, you can probably pick like a £2 a pint like that. And I remember like the naffy. In like what we call it in the armed services, it's like sometimes you like it used to be like 50p a pint, like that. So like that, so what like 75 cents. So like something like that. Like it was just like because it would come in like free, but it's it depends on the city. But I'm guessing that's exactly the same as like if you go to like Miami, New York, like that is going to be much more expensive than you go into like I don't know Jacksonville or something like that. Those things, but it's a bit more less touristy. So you got the tourist, like it's all like your pool, and then you're going to have your middle of nowhere places, they're just happy that you've just come in and like it's really really cheap. So it's thing, but if you go Vegas, like I've never been. It's one of those like you need a ticket off, I suppose, like that. But never been. But I can see that being like taking the mickey, unless you're in a casino and they start giving you free drinks. I can see that. Taking the mickey out of you a little bit, with the prices. But
because I don't drink on any level because I've seen too much. I've been to too many college football games or been in the outskirts of it and all that sort of stuff to kind of see what it kind of do. So, do what you will, but that's just not me. But the reason why I was asking about the pub thing is that here where I live, there's actually a couple who modeled a pub, an Irish pub. It was very, very, very dressed up with all these different sort of items on the wall, but it has that very feelish look. Now I know that pub is public house. I think that's what the term is. But for me, it is they do have a section. The bar is for adults drinking and stuff, but there have been some places where that. Besides that point, is there have been some places where they do have a bar, but it's a family restaurant as well, and they allow that sort of thing. But my thing is going back to before that was this sort of thing is sort of like you go with your friend to the pub, you drink, you eat, and all that sort of stuff, and you kind of share that whatever over that. Because because again, food is part of another form of communication for us, amongst other things. And there are a lot of Americans who enjoy fish and chips. They maybe differently, but they enjoy fish and chips, or they enjoy different cuisines. That there's a farmers market here, and there's a gentleman who's actually from the UK who's making jammy Dodgers. He's made lemon barley or lemonade,
Yeah.
or barley lemonade, I think it is, and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And you sort of bring that sort of exoticness, which it is, right? We don't have a lot of it over here, but you do bring that sort of exoticness over, and people will buy that to a degree, as long as they know it's edible, right? Like he's homemaking them or whatever. But it's a sort of a weird thing, because again, when I say something like barbecue, I imagine that you guys probably don't have something of similarity over there that would be considered barbecue.
Our barbecues are crap. It's not the standard of, like, I suppose, like a good, like you get that thing like a Georgian barbecue or something like
Yeah.
like something like in Savannah or something like that. You're gonna get a
Yeah.
good barbecue, or like your Texan barbecues, or
Yeah.
like even like Australians do it really well. Just the weather's here so crap. We don't get time to, like, we need to marinate the food, get a good barbecue. But our meat's quite expensive, so we don't get
Yeah.
you can't get good bit of meat. I
Yeah.
suppose you want to get that, get it on the barbie. Like, yeah.
It's going to Australia.
You get it on the barbie. You gotta go. If you're gonna go, like, put a shrimp on the barbie. That's it. But like you go, we just don't do it. We just don't do it well. And like,
Yeah.
if you, the worst thing is, like, you do get, like, you go to a store and they got the big barbecue, like the gas grills,
Yeah.
like they all do everything. Like they've even got like an iron, like for the pizzas and all that. And then, like, any Brit goes, "Oh, gonna get that. How much does it cost?" Like £3,000. Oh, and then
Oof.
they go, "I'm probably going to use it once a year because of the rain." Like that. And the worst thing is, when it does get sunny, most Brits just complain that it's too hot and don't want to stay outside anyway. So like,
Oh,
back indoors,
goodness.
no. So, but yeah, we're terrible barbecues. We don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, you get, when you get one, it will be a very burnt, probably, burger with some really crappy buns, a couple of sausages.
Yeah.
Somebody's made a salad that's just edible, and the rest of it is how much beer you can drink as quickly as you can drink. It's flipping hot. That is it. That is it. That is our barbecue. It's a lot of beer,
Yeah.
really bad, just edible food, and nobody
Yeah.
cares. It's like you get, like, but then you get like the food festivals that we kind of like,
Oh,
like
really?
a beer and sausage festival, like beer and
Uh,
burger festivals that we kind of have like that, or owl, or like cider festivals, and they all come with that food, and they got, like, like the good trucks, the food trucks come along. That is like, we have ones like, you have little communities, and like the whole town will come in, and they all go to like these cider festivals. But it is, again, the band's on. And it's like, unfortunately, it is the Brits. Like, you get the people that just go, you know what, I'm going to drink as fast as I can
Yeah.
until I fall over. We still got that culture. It is like that. I don't get it. Like, I'm really into my rock music and metal music, and when you go abroad and you go to them play like festivals, everybody's considerate and everybody cleans up. And so if you go to a British one, we're like scum. We literally
Wow.
throw everything on the floor,
Oh.
urinate everywhere,
Oh.
beer things. You get like the 18-year-old kid who thought they could, like, drink 20 pints in an hour. And then you go to, like, somewhere in like a European one, and then like I'm a good example in Hellfest in Clisson in France. Me and my mates went. It sounded like a joke because it was me, Englishman, mate was Irish, and there was a New Zealander. So it was kind of like, it was like a beginning of a joke. And then like we were like, went over like to this bar at like things, and we're like, we fancy some like ham, like the ham and cheese, and I'm like, ham and cheese. And this is the only place you could understand that this, anywhere else in probably the UK or probably in America, this would have been wrong. They were like, "Oh, you want some cheese?" And we're like, "Give us a cheese board and ham." And they were like that. So we sat down, and they had 2 stands of Guinness and red wine. That's all you could have. So we sat there in a metal festival having cheese, ham and red wine, just sitting there on this unique table, and they gave us this massive knife to cut the cheese with and ham because they come in rolls and like that. So we just sat there and we like that, and it was like a good 14 to 15-inch knife, like sharp, and they were like, "You've just let us walk off. You trust us with that?" Like, yeah, we're like, "Yeah, come back." But that was it, because they trusted you, and like they gave you like nice glasses and all that. People just then took it back, put it in the bins, and recycle like you did the recycling. It's just like, yeah, it's things.
Davey Verse says there's a north-south split. We northern clean up after ourselves for the most part.
Oh my god, don't.
Don't. He's saying not to
No.
listen to Davey Verse. He's saying not to listen
No.
to you.
I don't know. I don't know. I always laugh like when you get those them clips of like a normal day out in like English towns for the women like that, and they're like Manchester girls, and then they go like Swedish girls, and like there's completely like different comparison. You're like, oh yeah, we've seen them lasses on a night out. Like that. But it's like there is a north-south divide, and like we get that like this, but it's a more of a jip. Like they all was it southern softies and northern wankers and all that. It's just like you kind of get it, and it's fun. It's like that. And like the only trouble I've ever had, and I'm like, I'm a southerner, is once in Liverpool, and that was it. When somebody didn't like my accent and was trying to start a fight with me, and I was just like you just like I walked away, didn't like that. It was just like just because my accent was southern, I was like, "Oh, we're all here for a good time." And it was just one of the moments. It's easier to walk away because the guy was that things. But yeah,
you think he's here to try another beer? Well, you should kick him out. He's got a bad
accent. Maybe you like we get the backward sounds. Hi, Abe. Sorry, the backward sounds.
He says,
"Yeah." But so like that's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna get it from all different parts of the country. I remember going from like you go Copenhagen, Malmö, like on the train, and they're two different cities, but like one Swedish, one Danish, but like they're like what a mile apart over the waters, but like you would like that, but like it's completely different. But like the culture, I do love just the cultures. I love just it intrigues me. It really does. Like just like people's like eating habits, drinking habits, and all that. In different places, like anybody's been to Thailand or Vietnam or all of that, ice in beer because it gets so like hot. It just goes like that. I love it. Like it's just like the amazingness of like the grandeur of like some like American over the topness. Sometimes you get like with food. I remember like went to New York and just kind of randomly just like got in with these like started speaking to these teachers, and they took me to like, oh, let's go to this restaurant. I was like, yeah, okay, well, I'm hungry, and they just took me around in the back of like this sound a bit dodgy around the back of this dodgy street, but it was just like a door, and it was like this Brazilian restaurant, like steak restaurant. Never had it before in my life, and I was absolutely brilliant. They were like that, but yeah, it's like having that that eye-opening, like like things like with just like different cultures, and I like it. That's why I always laugh that, and it's a British thing. Like anybody who's British in the chat, Benidorm, the program Benidorm. It's a place in Spain, Benidorm, and it's they take the piss. It's where like I'm guessing if you're like from Yorkshire, everybody goes to, and they do it in the show. But it's like you go there to have your fish and chips and your burger, your Sunday roast, and it's like that. And I like if I go abroad, it's like the worst thing I could ever think of is to have a British dish. Like, no, I don't want to have you've gone over to abroad, you go to Rome and have a McDonald's. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So like, I just make sure, and I get like, I know I want to actually try your local beer, your local cuisine, or whatever it is. You're like your morning dish. It's funny, yeah. Sounds like
sounds like a kidnapping. Stasis, glad you got out safe.
But yeah, it's I love it. I do like a travel. I've been, because of services and other things. I've been lucky to go to most continents and like that. and it's it's just you just fall in love with places like I love
Yeah.
Scandinavia. I must say, like Scandinavia, all of them is probably they're just nice. They're
Yeah.
just bloody nice there, and it's like that. So yeah, I just love opening up to different cultures and like that, and then
Yeah.
so yeah.
And the funny thing is that it's not not from Scandinavia, but I did talk
Mm,
to someone who was from Norway,
mm,
and of course it was in English because I would not be able to speak Norwegian. That's not going to work well. But I mean, it's that, and he's sort of a musician himself.
mm.
He likes, I think he likes death metal music.
Yeah,
That's what
that's massive in Norway. Yeah, like that, like, and then kind of Denmark has it, but like Norway and Sweden, they love
mm,
their death metal. It's mad like that.
mm,
Like, yeah, it's like you get a really weird match like black metal, death metal. But you got Viking metal like a Amon Amarth, like bands that
yeah.
come from that area. It's great if you like that. It's just like, like you see, like, does he look like a Viking? You're like, you could get an axe like that.
No, he no, but he what stuff to talk about. Of course, it was like when I had him on, I was asking about what he thought about uh the possibility of the United States buying Greenland, because Greenland's not is not close, but it's not too far away. It's sort of that midway point between the United States and like
Yeah.
Sweden and Finland, all this stuff. And I just asked him about what he thought about that, because again, the
Mm.
some of the Greenlanders would want that, some don't, because that's a different whole aspect, because it's owned by Denmark or the Danish,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But it's sort of just like asking on the retrospective of all this stuff. And there's other thing too, like his music and whatnot. But it was like just like a good glad opportunity just to get to talk to him, because
Mm.
I mean, you're talking about someone who's 5 or 6 hours ahead of where I am. And it's night there. It was probably like late night. It was probably like midnight or 1 to him, which I tried not to, I don't want to keep you up too late. But the point of the matter is like you said, there's a difference in culture. Like if it were just to contain to us alone, right? To the United States and the UK, again, you have a different way of doing things. Like I know, at least to some degree, you guys like fried things, or at least to some degree, you guys like fried things a bit more.
It depends where
Maybe,
you are, though. Yeah, it
yeah,
depends where you are. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose everything's done in an oven. Like there's the myth that everybody like in like Scotland likes a fried Mars bar, like fried
yeah,
fish and all that.
yeah.
I think it's just it's myth. I think like we got that culture of everything's unhealthy.
Mm,
Everything's unhealthy, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's more of like things are since like 30 years ago maybe, but
Mm.
yeah, not too much. I think now everybody's got an air fryer, haven't they? Everybody has to have an air bloody fryer. I like that. So, but yeah.
Can't go
Mm,
wrong with a
mm,
good, regular old fish and chip though. But
mm,
the going back to the pub house, there was actually a lady
mm,
who's from England, who worked there. She very, very lovely. I don't know if she still works there or not anymore, but she was English. And I had asked her the question like, "Okay, so out of the big 3, right, you have English, you have Scottish, and you have Irish. Who do you consider like the best or biggest drinker?" And to my surprise, I thought she said like the Irish or something, but she said Scottish. She
yeah.
said the Scottish are the biggest drinkers. So I'm like, "Well, you guys drink too." It's like, "Yeah, well, but not as much as the Scotsmen or the Scottish people." I was like, "That's pretty interesting."
I suppose it's like that. Are you now? This is a fact. Like in the army, the British
Mm.
Army, most are Scottish in the British Army,
Really?
so they can drink. They like their drink in the army, so they've
Oh,
got things like. But you've got a lot now of the Scots. I think they're like live in England. There's like a lot of that. So like, but you have that. But they've always. I don't know what it is. It's got a bit. They always been known for. A good. They
yeah,
like their a good drink, and I like. But I think it's more of like it's like when you get more north and you got Northumberland and all that, they still like it. It's you've got a very working man's culture. They've
yeah,
got hard. You got hard workers there.
yeah,
You've got like they've been like your dad was a hard worker. Like you've either been it's all like um,
yeah,
manual labor, but
yeah,
good. Honest work, I suppose you want to call it
yeah,
like that, and I think it's just come back. Like you've done your 12-hour shift,
yeah,
and you got your day off, you can have a drink, you know,
Yeah.
like that. So you can have like that. So that's your time. So yeah, when they get back, you know, I think it's just one of those things. Yeah, you have a can, go down the
Yeah.
pub. It used to be that thing. So I think it's just like again, it's a cultural thing.
Mm.
It's like that. So they can do. It's like, you know, like you have like the old things like the Russians with vodka. You
Yeah.
don't drink Russia vodka with Russians.
Yeah.
I think it's just that, you just don't try and out drink a Scot. It's one of
Yeah.
those written rules. Yeah, I think it's that.
I would definitely follow that because I'm not gonna try to do that at all. Um, but no, and then Dave Weaver said, "Forgot Wales. 6 men are gonna be pissed." Was it? Well, I mean, the Wales is there too, but again, when people think of the UK, especially from the United States, they're thinking of Ireland, they're thinking of Scotland, and they're thinking of England. Those are the three places they're thinking of because that's the conjoining Great Britain, whatever you want to call it. That's the conjoining of
You will
all of
piss off the Welsh.
well, but
No,
again,
but I understand it because it is like I adore the Welsh. I loved it, love that, the valleys and all that. I think it's some of the places are very funny, but yeah, I can understand it as a thing. It's the one people forget, but just because of history
mm,
like that, and just because it's like, yeah, it's got its own identity, but people, it's a very small place for like if for the outside history, I
mm,
suppose, like that. Like if you like you've we you're not there's not many films, let's say that. If you go by that, if you go by pop culture, there's
mm,
not much about Wales. It's
mm,
like that. You haven't got there's not much there. So I can understand why it's missed. Like you have the Scottish, like there's always like if you got a famous Scotsman,
yeah,
they
John
they
Connery.
they out there, they've done quite well from it. But the Welsh accent,
Mhm,
there's not many people going to keep doing their Welsh accent like
yeah,
out there. Like when they do, they change it to a posh Englishman. Let's say that like that. So it's not a strong um well recognized like dialogue
yes.
So yeah, but yeah, don't never miss out the Welsh.
Well, well, one of the funny things I learned is that the Doctor Who, they're mostly in Cardiff, which is in Wales.
Yeah.
When they do their show stuff, they're mostly in Cardiff, and I didn't know that until you know, someone had mentioned it or whatever.
Mm.
So they do have something of that nature, but Wales is mostly just seen as an absorption into England because
Yeah.
it's not seen as its own. So, because I know the whole, what was it? The Brexit thing was a few years ago, and all that stuff being separated from the, what is it? The uh,
European Union.
the EU. That's right.
Yeah.
Stuff you forget over time. Wales have Tom Jones. Okay, like that's something to be proud of right there. It's not unusual, um, but again, that's where that learning, because again, you want to talk about on the history aspect alone. Look, you can have two different places talk about their history together, but they can see it from two different perspectives, and so they're going to talk in different ways about it. Like you were talking about earlier with how it's considered the rebellion or whatever. That's a different point of aspect of
Mm.
history upon looking at the American side, while on the American side, looking at the UK side, it's sort of like, yeah, we kind of told them to go home, and they had a rough time listening. So that's that point. But again, it's two different aspects of history as a whole, and as far as I understand it, history itself is sort of a mismatch of written by the victors, written by the losers, and you're really not sure what is the true case in point of history, because sometimes people fudge things up, and you get this sort of thing where you're not too sure. Um, there are certain facts that can be considered true, but then again, how far deep are you going to look before you realize that history itself is sort of this mumbled jumbled mess of people at least tried to put something there, but because of biases and kingdoms and all that sort of thing, like how how is it for sure that throughout the English monarchy that your kings or queens, depending on how many, because I only know of one, that was, well, two, Queen Elizabeth, but that was way back in the day, and then Queen Elizabeth latter, but not with power per se, because the monarchy now is considered less than what a prime minister is, as far as I understand it.
Yeah, I can see your point of view. Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah, they're
but
more of a figurehead. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's more of same way with Japan. Their emperor is more of a figurehead than their prime minister. It's more the, but but again, you have that cross of history and all that stuff, and of course, I can't imagine Japan doesn't have some sort of thing about the war and all that, especially World War II. But it's just when you get down to the very nitty gritty of it, the ground floor where everyone works at, like you were talking about the people, the working class. Like John Lennon would have that song "Working Class Hero." That would be his song
Mm.
for um, the working class. But that's where you have pretty much everyone at least at the ground floor, and that's why first and second Lizzie's. I don't know what that means.
Elizabeth the First and Elizabeth the
Oh,
Second.
yes, that's right. That's first thing. I was like, I thought he was talking like a sports team. I was like, I don't know
The
about
Lizzies.
the Lizzies. Here comes in team one of the Lizzies. It's looking like they're a little behind. Oh, team two's really bumpering it up there. Um, but yeah, I just again that's like you were saying before. That's where that wanting to learn about. Hey, there he is. Hey, Jason, how are you? So that's the guy I was talking about. Jason.
Okay,
He's from Norway. Um,
got it.
yeah,
Height. That with it. Height or
yeah,
Gouda. Gouda.
yeah.
As I think that's how you pronounce it. I can't remember, not Norwegian.
uh,
So
but yeah,
let me say this because he probably can understand this. Jag förstår lite danska. That's the best way I can understand. So that's all I know.
well,
There we go.
we'll wait for that response. But yeah,
No, that means the best translate is I can only understand a little Danish.
I
Oh,
can't
thank you
understand.
very much.
I can't understand it. Though I will say though, in America we do have these things called IKEAs,
Yeah,
and boy,
Swedish IKEAs. Yeah.
oh goodness.
Flat
The-
pack, flat pack, flat pack.
well, the funny thing is, oh, I think it was like a year or two ago, I learned that in IKEAs they all have their own restaurants in them, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you got to be kidding me, right? That's the only place I know of that's a home furnishing with its own restaurant, and I'm like,
With the Swedish meatballs. That's it. But
oh,
like in Sweden, like when I've ever been, they don't have kind of that IKEA. They have
yeah.
something else. So, yeah.
Also, you got a response right there.
Ah, there we go. There we go. We got it. There we go.
See,
That's the funniest thing. Is like I didn't realize how like except for the Icelandic language. I
mm,
dated somebody who was Icelandic, and that is old Danish.
mm,
And my girlfriend at the time. Wow, it's like speaking with one sentence for like
mm,
5 minutes, and they don't take a break with a breath.
see,
It's like really, I couldn't understand a word of Icelandic. It's really hard.
mm,
But the Swedes, Norwegian, and the Danish, and even like Hamburg in
mm,
Germany, like some of the dialogue, it's like that you can all they can like there's certain words like you can work out what the countries are saying at each
yeah,
other. So that's it. But it's quite good things. But yeah,
because it.
it's a weird. Yeah.
Ugh.
You right there?
When I was driving back
If you collapse, do I call?
no, I've been dealing with some seasonal stuff, like seasonal allergies.
Oh,
It
okay.
was like ears are plugged,
No.
hacking up. That's why I've been having a rag next to me because of the blowing my nose.
Antihistamine time, is it really? Oh, no one time.
But
Mm.
the Stasis, you're on point. See, there you go. Look at that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, but getting to talk. I mean, the Jason, because I think I asked him like the language itself, because supposedly the Norwegian language is supposed to be the same language that's been for hundreds of years. And I think he said that wasn't the case. I'm not sure.
No.
It's been a while since we last talked, Jason.
The Icelandic language is more of what that I suppose. Well, it's different. There's kind of two different regions of like
Yeah.
Scandinavia, but like the Oslo going to the straits into Denmark, and
Mm,
then the tip of like southern portion of Sweden. They
mm,
kind of all had the same. That would be kind of what modern-ish, I suppose, Icelandic language would be, and
mm.
that's with that. But now it's changed, but that's because of Christianity
Yeah.
most coming in, and the dialogue of like the Normans as well, and the
Mm,
like Germanics going north into it has just completely butchered it. So that's why you got a very German influence as well. So
Yeah.
like the German, like especially with the Danish, is very, 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 very similar. Except for the
Mhm.
spelling is
Yeah.
easier. It's like the Scandinavian spelling the words
Mhm.
is very easy. You go to the German speller words, they like to have like 20 letters for like a single like syllables word.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's things. But yeah, it's
Oh, there we
yeah,
go.
mostly.
Norsk is more of the simple dansk.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dansk is Danish. Yeah.
Dansk. That's funny. Yeah, because I mean, when you talk about the Christian aspect for Norway, that's where sort of like the whole mythology of Norse mythology is sort of like the entrance in of, because I think it's like there's only 2 points of like saved portions of that stuff were because I think one Christian preacher, whatever, wanted to save that because again, once Christianity started coming in, the Norse mythologies were starting to kind of like drip away a bit. And
Yeah,
all
I
this
think
stuff.
it's different. Like you got like I suppose the Islamic faith and the Christian faith are
Mhm.
very heavy and writing it down, whereas the Norse side of it was all done with song, like or like I suppose poems and all that.
Mhm.
It's very. I think it's come back in. I said Iceland. I think
Mhm.
there's still one of the ones with an old. I think it was like 10 years ago, like you have to correct me, like somebody have to correct me in chat, like they came back with their own Norse temple to the old
Really?
gods. Yeah, it's like that, so they actually have one back there. But yeah, that it's just because they did. Yeah, it's I hate to say it, like the written, like you think the written word wasn't a thing, so that's it's all carvings of songs,
Mhm.
so like you've got all the I suppose the legends of um all the great Norse warriors, I suppose you want to call it, or like
Mhm.
gods, but they've all come from I suppose you tell this story to your down the line, you down your line. But of course,
Yeah.
if you're getting somebody else coming who's got the written word, this is the truth. I suppose
Mhm.
like Christianity goes and like I say, yeah,
Yeah.
poems and songs, big things in North.
Yeah.
Yeah, pagan. Yeah.
Also, I did want to, before we start getting going, I did want to show this. I did find what you were talking about, the Norse temple.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, you go.
it's
Yeah,
a Norse temple, a temple at Uppsala. A
yeah.
Norse temple is a religious center dedicated to Norse gods such as Thor, Odin, and Freyr. The most notable example is the temple at Uppsala in Sweden, which was described by the 11th century historian Adam of Bremen as the most significant pagan site in the region and was destroyed by the Christian king
Yeah.
Inge the Elder around 1080. Today, there are efforts to establish new Norse worship areas, including a project to build a temple called New Uppsala in
In
Gladewater,
Texas.
Texas. Wow.
Wow. There you go. I think it's got like I think it's got a thing like I say like a like the Viking way.
Mhm,
I think is like even though like in history there's like different like I suppose you call it like regions of Vikings.
mhm,
But I think like everybody has that image of a Viking. What is a Viking?
mhm,
Round shield, axe,
mhm.
come in and plunder, take over. Back they go with all your silver, your gold, and your women, like your slaves, and then come back again, raid again. And it was
Mhm.
only like Len, of course, the taken over probably what you're going to like 70% of England, like that. So we've got a very historical tie with I suppose, Norwegian Vikings and Danish Vikings, I suppose you want to call
Yeah.
it that. It's because it was easy to raid. Like, yeah, that's why, like Ireland is Vikings. Nobody lived there because it's so muggy and marsh. But like
Mhm.
the Norwegians coming over, they took it over. So like that. So most of that's it. So there we go. Vikings, German.
So goodness sake. Well, and that's
Oh,
funny too, because I went to go see that movie, The Northman, with
oh
Alex
yeah, yeah,
Skarsgård,
yeah.
and who was the director of that movie again?
Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember.
Oh, but I went to go see it. I'm sorry to tell you that. I mean, it probably been worse, but I mean, what they showed, as much as they could show on screen, because you can't show
Mm.
like killing kids or whatever. But I mean, as close as you could get on screen, that's what they used to do back in the day.
There was it, the berserkers, wasn't it? That's what they called them. They
Berserkers, yeah.
like literally, they get in there. But like, but I say, like, if you go by just a warrior nature,
Mm.
a warrior nature, at the point that they did something clever, the Vikings, they had their boats, I suppose they're not ships, but their boats, things like that, could get over, and they could dismount. Like, you know, like you get them like the Second World War with the like they're doing the beaches like that. That's what they could do. They could literally like light armor and, you know, strong warrior men that nobody ever seen. So they went into, like, you know, the British as well, like in, you know, Normandy.
Yeah.
Especially like Rollo, as a famous one who took Normandy. That's why Normandy's Normandy. It's because Normandy, Northman,
Yeah.
Northman,
Yeah.
Normandy. That's why the part of France is called Normandy, because it was
Oh, that's
taken
right.
over by the Northmen. It's just like nobody's seen it. Fast, furious, had tactics,
Mhm.
you know, like that. And also, one thing they did, like a lot of people did, right? You know, you had like warrior women, I suppose you want to call it, you know, like the shield maidens, as they're known as. You know, it's just like an interesting time of history, as where people, you know, they went into raid, and they know
Mhm.
that. But when they settled, they, you know, they settled, especially in Britain, and you know, it's been now found out in, of course, you know, years ago, like in America,
Mhm.
the first settlers there, is they could farm. They're good farmers. You know, they knew how to build structures, the farm, to settle.
Mhm.
So that whole culture is like that, and it's like, you know, you've got to. I don't know where Jason lives, but like some of like the northern parts, like the North Cape, what
Mhm.
goes over the top, is literally, wintertime is unbearable.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
literally, it's bitter. It's better. It's like Svenserberg or something like that. The island up there. It's
Mhm.
literally horrid. It's horrid in the winter.
Mhm.
You know, you'd like for Celsius, you're looking at like -30. So what would that be
Oh,
in? That would be like in, you know, it's bad. You know, like
yeah.
I remember going. Like, one of my mates is like in northern Sweden, and
Mhm.
he was like went to India with
Mhm.
me in January.
Mhm.
It was like 40 degrees, like really nice. So Lord, that like be 80s, like 90s, 90s, and up pushing 100 for you guys in
Mhm.
Fahrenheit. And he just come from -25 centigrade, and he was just like, whoa, this is different. But he got like so climatized to it. It was
Yeah.
like in those things. But yeah, you got that. If you can farm in frozen ground, and then yeah, you can go to a culture.
Mhm.
Sorry, like the British weather is great. It rains, but it's good
Mhm.
farmland. It's soft, like that. So you've got, yeah, like you got to commend them. They knew how to go to place and settle.
Mhm.
Like they're known, I suppose, in TV, film, dramas. This, you know, from the old even Eric the Viking movie.
Yeah.
Then like to get their raid, get the money, go back. But they were settlers, you know. They
Mhm.
knew how to settle. Like, look at that. Like you look at the black ash, like the
Mhm.
volcanic ash lands of Iceland.
Yeah.
I keep things. Greenland, you mentioned it earlier. Like, only like you think like Greenland is that, really that kind of western portion can really be settled on. The rest of it is barren. You can't really do it. They settled there. So like, you know, there is like the hardships of like that kind of area, and you got like even the Faroe Islands, the Outer Hebrides, like to have that back when things weren't easy. You didn't have that. Is to be able to survive in that is good going, and crossing the seas at the same time, like
Mhm.
them, you know, like we have like the ships now.
Yeah.
Those, like, yeah, the carvings, the durability of actually having a ship that can make it, things. But it wasn't, you know, the Royal Navy kind of ship. They weren't that, you know, magnificent. They're
Yeah.
still, you know, maximum 20 people back to
Yep.
back,
Mhm.
horrible conditions. If a wave got you, you're coming down. You know, like the English Channel is, you know, we survived getting conquered by the Romans because of the English Channel. So crossing that, you know, that's why, yeah, why we're a sea-bearing nation, because yeah, it's things. So all that is things.
And then Dave Ever says, "My brother loves Norway. He holidays on cruises to visit the fjords, spelled with a J in there too. He always says he loves the people and the land." Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
Is it
and
like it's so like that? Like the Danish are always every time like who are the happiest people in the world? I think like the Danes always come out like that. But yeah, it's like if I ever say like people like where to go, I always say go like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and like that. Like you're like what was it Reykjavik and Reykjavik are really nice as well.
Yep.
Something like that. But yeah, it's like they're just pure. Like they're beautiful countries. They are beautiful countries. But like something's happened.
Just refresh. Just refresh. Just refresh. Just refresh the page. You'll be good. Norway is a beautiful place. All right, there you go.
I don't know what happened there. Just yeah.
Technical glitches.
Okay, so it's just said, but now he's gone. Oh, I'm soloing. Now we're on side. Now we're side. No good technology. What can we give that? But yeah, it's all like there are like I've skied over there as well, and it is beautiful. I did my Arctic survival training in Norway. Though that was fun. But yeah, it's beautiful. I've never been like I know if you're those Scandinavian countries, I'm thinking about like Finland. I suppose class it. It's more like the Russian side. It's different culture. I always want to go there because everybody who's Swedish, Norwegian, or Danish, they always say like Finnish is like really is completely different culture, even though they're really the same unit, I suppose, in like geographical terms. They're like it's like nope, completely different. But I'm guessing that's because like when the Eastern Bloc, the Baltic states, and all that, is completely different. Yeah, so I like to go there one day. But yeah, it's good.
Me too. But again, not enough money, not enough time. Dang it!
But that's it. Like, say you could get like a train. Probably can get there for the UK if you wanted to do it. Like, get over to we could do like go to Strasbourg, straight to Hamburg, then like take out that.
It'd be nice to do that because in America we have a train system. It's not as. It's very. You gave the stream. Well, who do you think you caught it from first?
There we go.
Why do you think he hasn't had you on his show yet? Because reason.
Still getting tested. Well, I spoke to him offline once, saw what he looked like. Thinking coming off the internet. The internet one.
It's all dark and mushy. But anyway, that's just gonna be worse. But anyway, it is the top of the hour again, and I think we're going to start winding it down and heading out. But before we do, we're gonna do a few things first. And the first, of course, is our new self promotion first, and then I get a few other things. But we're gonna start with you. The floor is yours, good sir. So sail away.
It's been a bit enjoyable, Sal. I like it. The things, but we had a good little chat. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate you again reaching out and having me here. So just give this guy a sub. He deserves it. And
already has Abe's. Oh,
that's what that cream was for that you sent me in the post.
Ew.
I was putting it on my salad. I think I was wrong. But yeah, it's great. But yeah, if you're not like seeing my channel, go over to YouTube again, like that Stasis Geek, same name. It's like that. So you'll find me there doing the old weird content or weird things. Your helmet's protect like that. But yeah. We're getting historical with that.
The nunnery on I don't know how to say that, was established in the 12th century and led to traffic of people and goods, many from abroad on that word, market eventually closed so that the citizens of Skien had thank you for that. Be found on Skien. Sorry, he says found in Skien. So he really had a lot to say. The helmet was for your protection, Stasis. Oh goodness.
Those ones, that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, his links are down below on both Rumble and YouTube. Again, he does his show like you do. You do show with Jay Nerd Takes, and then you do your own thing, right?
Yeah. So every week, because Jade, family now, family man. He's now daddy.
right.
Yeah, so myself, Sandy Q started off one with like a film recommendation club. It
Mhm.
started off that we were really excited by the film Napoleon. We thought it was going to
Oh,
be good.
nice.
It was awful. And we both went. We need to talk about this because like
Yeah.
that. So it all started off this film club, like film recommendation. Is we
Mhm,
both were like, oh look, I hope it's really good,
mhm.
and it was awful. It was really bad. So we just both went on ranted about, and that kind of turned into a film recommendation club. Then it just like Jay, I can't remember like Jay was in like Mr. Pork Chops, and I think he was like talking to Tomby as well, like kind of thing
Mhm,
like that. And he was just talking sense, and I just reached out like, "Is you like you want to join like film like I've got this idea of film club every week,
mhm.
like things, and yeah, that's turned into I think we're like episode 35 now of like these epic things we've had. I
Yeah.
think Godfather, we did Godfather, and we talked for 6 hours.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to get that. So we do like breakdowns and all that. Abe's always there.
Mm.
Highlander, if he's ever in chat, he likes Braveheart, and we're not doing it. So I go like that. He likes that. And what's it? What's the Patriot?
Oh, yeah.
Like two really bad movies historically. So we're doing that. But tomorrow, yes, they cancelled today. But we will be. I'm back solo.
Mhm,
Sorry, not, just me and Sandy, the original ones, doing
mhm.
a war movies one. Top
Nice.
10 recommendations. She
Hmm,
picks 10, I pick 10, and we
nice.
don't know who's picked what. And we talk about the movies.
Nice.
So we do, and then hopefully we get back depending on Jay, but we're going to kind of think because his pick came up. We do like a random wheel. So we got
Mhm.
250 movies and a wheel. We just spin a wheel. And that's the
Nice.
movie we talk about the week next. Is Whiplash, the
Oh.
movie Whiplash. So that's on his one. And then Sandy's got her one, The League of Their Own, the baseball movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right, the
Yeah,
all-female one, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we got that coming up. So we got those in the to go, but of course, yeah, we had to like just cancel for a couple of weeks because of it'd be like Jay had a couple of things, just
Yeah.
one thing coming out like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, bless it. Yeah, the kids doing looks good, looks cute. So yeah, it's good. So that's great. But yeah, we do it and things, but it's it's fun. But yeah, you're gonna always get me like gaming if I can. It's like that. Like I can pop in mostly like UK time, lunchtime ish,
Mm.
going up to like
Yeah.
I'm not one of these 8 hour ones. I will do like a mini,
Yeah.
like two like max. If I'm doing over 2 hours, you've caught me on a good day.
Yeah.
That's it. Otherwise, it's gonna be a film club special or something like that,
Yeah.
or just need to do more pre-recorded. I need to watch something good that I want to talk about that's enjoyed. Like I think Davey Verse said about Mobland. Um, that's quite good at the moment. I'm actually enjoying that. Oh, that's on Paramount Plus. Only a few things into it, but like other things I've just watched and I'm like, oh, it would bore myself to trying to remember why this was so bad. Like Yellow Jackets. I was going to do something on Yellow Jackets, and I was like, oh, it's just got really bad. I didn't want to watch it in the end. And Conclave, watched that movie, and I was just like, oh, that's horrible, and it won a bloody BAFTA.
Mhm.
And I found it awful, but like, yeah, I just want to kind of get more positive. So I'm going to
Mhm.
hopefully do that. So that's why I've stopped talking about Star Wars a lot because that's just going right down the pan
Yeah.
like that. So
Who
yeah.
knows? Yeah, and who knows how that will be, but yeah,
Mm.
again, his links are below, and thank you to Davyverse for posting that. That's his YouTube, and of course, he has his Twitter X down below. Um, uh, but yeah,
See.
if you're interested, go and check him out, and if he's worth the follow, why not? Right? He talks about, and then of course, Davyverse has Mobland class. There you go, right there. But anyway, from my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or whether you're on the YouTube side, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because at the end of the day, not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators do. I mean, that's why they content create to some degree. But it also helps with having other people on, like Stasis, like Gabe, like Cool Frog, and like so many other people, and Chaos and Roswell. I've had him on too. Again, I do this thing because I get to talk to many people across the way, whether they're a creator or not. It doesn't matter. What matters if people are willing to take up the opportunity to just have a conversation about whatever, and you just saw 2 hours that. Look, he's not even falling asleep. That shows you something right there. So, but anyway, any help with the engagement factor on either end. Of course, I have a link down below. It has my Twitter X, has my email, has like my thing for Discord, but it's mostly just for DMing. I don't have a server. Don't ask. I only have so much of my bandwidth. So there is that. But again, any help with the engagement factor and link down below. I appreciate it all. And before, it's not going to be gay. Well, all right. Abe has said it. He has spoken. Everyone got one. Yeah, that's right. But anyway, before the next thing I do before we go, again, next week's schedule will be put out Sunday, and of course I have a full week then too, because I have a lot of people. But that will be out. That schedule will be out tomorrow, and of course, the last thing I do with my guest is something called questions from the hat. Now I did. Yeah, Steve, you don't sleep. You don't sleep at all.
He
You're
never
always
sleeps.
awake. He always says he's sleepy, but he never goes to sleep. But anyway, so I bought this hat from Rumble, and I put some questions in it. Now I did kind of just rewrite some questions onto newer paper because they were getting kind of bad. So, well, yeah, it happens, age and stuff. But what happens is that you, my guests, get 2 freebie questions. Now, however, yeah, so it's gonna be fun. I'm not monetizing YouTube, so sorry YouTube, but if you're on Rumble, I am monetized, so you could send a Rumble rant or their super chat.
Oh, don't! Abe's gonna ask the most stupidest question now in the world.
He
Like,
did.
Do you really love me?
No, he did, but they were all gay. So, but anyway, if you're on the Rumble side, doesn't matter the amount. It could be at $1 or 500. Doesn't matter the amount. If you want more than those two questions pulled out of the hat, you have to give a Rumble rant. So that's how it works. But first question we're gonna work with.
Be quite good.
Let's see. My eyes are closed, but I'm reaching in like I'm going in for like that. How they do.
It's
something.
either that or he's touching his testicles right now. There's one and two things. We can't see the hat.
All right, here we go. Here's the first one. Here's number one right
like...
there. All right, let's see what it says. It says, oh, here we go. What's a childhood memory that still makes you smile?
Oh, childhood memory that still makes me smile.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a weird one. When I was younger, everybody turned up to one of my. I was really young, and I remember moving to a new school, infant school. Like, so that would be like what 4 till 6 probably. And I remember, so I must have been like 5-ish, like that. And everybody turned up to my birthday party, and I remember it was like everybody was there. So that memory always like in my head always made me smile. Now later on I didn't realize everybody turned up because I had chicken pox, and that's why they always wanted to go, because everyone in chicken pox family. So everybody was there to like, because they went, oh, somebody's got chicken pox like that. So yeah, but it's one of those ones. Yeah. So yeah, I remember that I'd been a really good birthday party, except for really itchy. But yeah, that was it.
All right, Davey Verse, you get your wish. All right, so Davey Verse has given $2 on the Rumble side, and you get a third one. So thank Davey Verse for that. All right, going for question number 2. Question number 2. What will it be? What will I pull out of this hat? I have no idea. All right, here we go. Question number 2. Let's see it.
Olive green.
I think it's neon green. I think now olive's a little darker. Oh, here we go. Do you prefer coffee? Well, actually, no. I already know the answer to this one. I'm going to pull a different one out because I already know the answer to that.
We said that at the beginning.
I know.
Coffee.
I'm not going to read
Anybody missed it?
I think I already got that one from you. Okay, here's one. Got one right here. This is number 2.
I did.
And it is, what is? All right, we're gonna push the boundaries here. What is your favorite curse word?
Oh, at the moment, I like saying twat waffle.
I think that has a ring to it.
Yeah, like, oh, you absolute twat waffle. You know, oh, what are you? But if you had to say, like, but just for a moment, like, yeah, it's the see you next Tuesday. But like, I do like it. Yeah, oh, you twat waffle. at the moment, that's my like. What are you doing, you twat waffle? So yeah, twat at the moment.
Have you? I will ask this though. Have you ever tried waffle fries though?
Waffle fries. What are waffle fries?
Hold on. I'll show you what they look like.
Oh my god, this is.
It's there's a restaurant over here called Chick-fil-A that does them, but basically, let's see. I'm trying to find a good image. It's not okay. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. There. Those are waffle fries.
Oh yeah. We get. I don't know what they're called. They're called something different in the UK. They're not called waffle fries. They're something. Oh, like something like. Oh, I can't remember the name, but there's something to do with like pizza things. So like they call it pizza something or something. I can't remember what they call it, but you can get them. But you don't really get them that often. But yeah, you can get them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the one restaurant. There are some places that do it too, but Chick-fil-A is well known for them. And of course, Davey Verse giving for another one. Good Lord, Davey Verse. I gotta use a different colored paper now.
Have you ever killed a stream accidentally? Yes, I did. Apparently. I did it on a Chinwag one. Tomby changed the platform, and I just went, I'm gonna go, and I don't know. I was like, I've got to go, guys. I'm really tired, and then I just clicked the button, and I might have clicked the wrong X, and I apparently had admin rights.
What?
I didn't know, and I just went to bed, and then I was like, I've got to go click the button, done, and that was it. So yeah, that's what he's on about there. But then they like I can't remember if it was I think I don't know if it said Abe said it. I can't remember. They are really close together like that, or Tomby said it like literally who put the cross next to each other. So I just went for the one I could see, but I was so tired. I had a really long day, and I was like, look, guys, I got to bail out, and apparently it was me. But I don't remember it. But I just clicked the button, so that I think it was me. But it was a completely unbuggered. Kind of didn't mean to do it. I just literally turned off my computer, pressed the button, gone, kind of thing. Yeah, that was mine.
That's on Tomby though, because he's in charge of that stream. So blame Tomby for that one. Do your job, host. All right, let's pull out question number 3.
Oh, yeah, 3. Yeah.
Thank you again, there, Davey Verse, for that. Let's see what one I can get. All right, here's one. Here's number 3. What does this say? Oh, well, this one's easy. Do you remember ever hearing of a show called The Actor Studio with James Lipton? Okay. So you won't get it, but anyway, this is a question that the gentleman James Lipton would ask. One of the questions he would ask his guests, and the same question to all his guests. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you at the pearly gates?
Nice hair.
It still looks good after all these years.
There we go. Yeah. I don't know. Oh God, that's a deep one, isn't it? You go really things. I don't know. Come in. I suppose is the best way like that. Come in. We don't care about that. That doesn't count. There we go. There's the answer. That one doesn't count. There we go.
Your favorite bar is to the left. Like, yes.
Yeah.
May make you half your stream, but most of well, if you're gonna put it like that, take dog out. If I don't get back to avenge my death, well, you didn't die. You just taking your dog out. Silly Steve. Tricks are for kids.
Oh, unless he hasn't got a dog, and what's going on?
Yeah. That's true too. If he doesn't have a dog, I'm a little worried. All right. If he doesn't have a dog, I'm a little worried. All right. Here's question number 4. Last one, unless someone gives a rumble rant. You've never heard of Actor Studio? That's true.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe I was doing something, Abe. God, busy. Not on Conan.
He has to deal with Abes. Have you ever heard of Abes? He's dealing with Abes, all right?
Yeah.
Goodness sake. All right, here's number 4.
Oh, you got to scrub twice a day if you get Abes.
And there's always a red light involved.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a lot of ointments.
All right, here's the last one, unless someone gives another rant. If you could make one silly law that everyone had to follow, what would it be?
Well, I'm going to go for this. Is going to be quite good because it's a law that is already in Australia. Everybody has to go and vote. You have to vote. Every time you have to vote. There you go. Whatever thing. And I would love that happen because if you had 100% voting, everybody, you're going to get some people just voting for like the monster loony parties, some weird ones just to take the piss. So yeah, I would like, yeah, you have to vote. You have to vote.
Yeah,
well, like, we get some weird. You'll get some weird elections coming up now. If every person had to vote.
Well, we don't have
what's the population of America at the moment? Like 600,
over 330 something million.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we got 10 years ago, 66 million. So you're looking around about 70 probably million now in the UK. But like, yeah, can you imagine that? Like that popular vote, if everybody had to vote, you know, like not kids. I'm not going to go like a toddler's got to vote, but that would be funny. Just do one general election or the president. Anybody under the age of 14 has to vote and see what happens. Like, here's a crayon. Crayons, yep, you're allowed to have crayons.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Well, and we don't have that kind of rule, but you know, you do see every year for America they're like get out to vote, which is fine. But
it's a fact. I think Australia, like, they did have it. Like, if you didn't go out and vote, you got fined, or you got like a
those
fine kind of thing
those
like that.
bloody Australians.
I think it's quite a good idea though. Like, you know, I think it's, you know, like it makes you care about your community, especially like if you do like a local one. I think it's good, but like a lot of people just don't give a crap. And I say, like, I know it's got more height, I suppose, in the social environment now, but yeah, not again.
Mr. Penis would like to see you now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a lot of people would do that. Like, yes, like, you know, like you're like, I don't know if you see like the British ones are like, yes, we had to like they always say like, you know, crossing one box, and then they have to like, votes rejected 20 for multiple candidates. It'd be great. Multiple candidates had penises in their boxes. Like that. $50. They're fine. So yeah, 80 Australian dollars. So what's that? 2p.
The vote was decided by a few votes, and they all decided Mr. Penis was the winner.
Well, it was one like what's it? Yeah, the one they did. Is it the by-election? 6 votes. 6 votes it done to get a minister of parliament, member of parliament. Sorry. So yeah, it's 6 votes. That is. Yeah.
I'm really wondering if they've ever had someone who was voted that had a last name that you couldn't just stop laughing at. Like Mrs. Vagina is here to be voted in. Like you couldn't just like, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work well. It's probably why she got in is because of the last name.
I bet you everybody in chat will look like the weirdest, like anybody like that. It's gonna be like some like weird, like obscure country that had a person called, you know, Eat My Vagina or something like that.
Jason says, I'm gonna vote this year. We only have one party that's goodish. The rest is shite. Hey, I hear you, man. It's not much better. Did a U.S. citizen vote in a dog once? Yeah, it was a mayor. It was for a mayor spot, though. It was like they voted in a dog to be in a mayor spot. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people who don't care about politics because it's just a money grab at the end of the day. But beside that point, that is the end of the show there. And of course, excellent. I want to thank all the lovely people in chat. And of course, Tomby for raiding and kind of giving a link to us. But I want to thank every one of you here. Of course, I want to thank the great latest and greatest Stasis, which I never even got to figure out how that one was. Yeah, that's that. That reminds me of when Monty Python doing their stuff for like the military. The military stuff, like, you know, just or whatever. But anyway, that is the end of the show. And of course, again, thank you, chat, and of course, thank you, Stasis, for coming on. I know you're a very busy gentleman with a kid, and you got all that stuff going on. But I'm glad we were able to get this to happen because it was a movie in the waiting right there. It's like, can we do it now? We don't have the tax credit yet. Dang it! Oh, curses! Our actor's not here yet. We can't do it. But no, and of course you're always welcome to come back, even though I know it'll probably be another long stretch. You're always welcome back, good sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Roo.
And
Thank you
but
for taking me.
no, yeah, glad to, glad to.
And we haven't banned Abe yet, so that's we're getting there. We're slowly getting there.
Hey, I'm in the research of trying to figure out if I should have him on just because the Abes, but we'll see. We'll see. Behave yourself, Abe. But anyway, yes, and of course, again, like I said, the schedule for next week's. Like if you want to see how crazy my stuff gets, right? And I don't have to do it this way. Like before I show this, I don't have to fill it up this way. I don't have to take this path, but because there's so many people, different people out there, create or not, and just what this thing offers, like. Yeah.
Nice.
I have to use two calendars, one on my phone and one on that. But again, it only took forever. Look, you've been on 3 times already, and you keep begging like a small child who wants more candy and Oliver Twist, all right? You get no more scraps, Oliver Twist. You're gonna hold off a while, all right? I wish I could have played that one out. But anyway, again, next week's schedule is coming out tomorrow. And again, I thank you all for being here. Even though I know I do the thing that doesn't get the most views or whatever, not I don't really care about the algorithm. I want to be the one who beats the algorithm or beats more than the algorithm. But at the end of the day, I appreciate you all. And again, don't forget to check out both our stuff. Don't forget to like and all that sort of stuff to help with the engagement. At the end of the day, even the free stuff matters. Yeah, never. You're going to say never soon enough. All right. But anyway, I end the show with another music video like we did earlier by the same artist called I get it there called One Day With You by Pogo. Again, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. And if you're at nighttime like he is, get a good night's sleep if you can.
Until you get woken up. Yeah.
Yeah, until you get woken up and said you should go to sleep, and then it's like, who is this kid? But anyway, have a great night, guys. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Bye for now.